The squeaking of basketball shoes on the hardwood at the start of November means college basketball is back. And we're here in Clifton, Cincinnati, Ohio, for the beginning of the 125th season of Cincinnati Bearcats men's basketball. This is the pregame show on Bearcats Radio. Hello, everyone. I'm Chase Yance, joined alongside me, Justin Diedrich. Tonight, basketball is back, Justin, and we don't even know who this team is. What are we looking at right now?
We're looking at a lot of new players from last year. Only three returners, and a lot of players through the transfer portal, a couple of new recruits. We don't really know what product we're going to see out there on the court. There's a lot of intriguing pieces, but how are they going to fit together? We've yet to see.
Cincinnati and Western Carolina, the Catamounts, will come up at 7 o'clock. Right after the anthem, Chris Pagan and Miles Essenprise will be on the call for this matchup. Doing the play-by-play and color commentary. But setting the table pregame-wise, there are so many new people on this UC roster. You look down the entire list, you will only see 3 players that return on this roster. 2 that actually dressed for the team and played actually some sort of minutes. And 1 person that started for this team, and that being number 1, Day Thomas, the only person that comes back in the red and black for Cincinnati. Day averaged just over 10 points a game last year and shot nearly 40% from deep. Justin, the excitement level of bringing him back, a familiar face at that.
Yeah, not just a familiar face, but one of the star players of the team. I mean, the most recognizable guy for the last 2 seasons. He's been bringing the ball down the court. He's been playing sound defense. He's really expanded his game into the three-point range as well, which means a lot for this team if you can stretch the floor as the 1. And this year, he's going to be taking over as the full-time 1. So it's going to be really interesting to see how he handles that change. Before, he was kind of a combo 1 and 2. But it's nice for Cincinnati fans to have that familiar face and have that face be somebody who we can rely on late in games and to really set the pace of the team as well.
Is there a new face on this team, and there are many of them, that sticks out to you the most above all that are not freshmen? We will talk about them in a moment. Any of these transfers that really stick out, not like a sore thumb, but a graceful something else in the field? What do you think?
I'm going to go with a guy who I think really represents Cincinnati culture. I'm going to talk about Sincere Harris. He's a defensive-minded guy that fits Wes Miller's system. We played against him in the past years in the Big 12, and he really locks us up. So it's nice to have him on your team now. He's not going to be frustrating you on the other side. He's a defensive-minded guy, extremely athletic. I just watched him almost do a windmill dunk. He's going to lock down. He's going to want the other team's best player. He wants that premier assignment, and he's going to put all his effort into that defensive end. But he can knock down some threes as well. He can drive the baseline. This is a guy who just fits this culture, fits this team. He likes to be a Bearcat. He loves it here. And so that's the type of players I want, and I'm really excited to see what he brings to the team.
I'm excited about this front court where you're talking about guys that are over 6'10". Baba Miller coming from FAU, and then you got Mustafa Cham coming over from UCF. These 2 guys, again, can stretch the floor, can shoot threes from the outside. But then something about Baba Miller where he can just do a little bit of everything, play that point forward role if needed. Again, this is a new-look team. We don't know what exactly the build or makeup is going to be, but in the Big 12, you have to be able to get rebounds. You got to be able to own the paint. And Cincinnati going potentially with this double big look in the starting lineup tonight, we'll get to see some of the first looks of what Wes Miller is trying to build in year 5. We'll talk about what Wes Miller looking like in year 5 is going to come up with, but again, I'm excited about those 2 guys in the front court. You look at Cham. Last year, he shot 49% from the field, 10.4 points a game, 6.4 rebounds. Led the Big 12 in blocks per game at 2.6 and was 4th nationally in that statistic. And then with Baba Miller, 11.3 points a game, 7 rebounds, 2.7 assists, and 1.7 blocks per game while shooting 48% from the field and 34% from 3 at 6'11". I'll tell you this, though. With all the transfers that have come into Cincinnati to try to call this new place home, there are 2 freshmen that really stick above the rest. And a lot of them, they stick out from most of the country. You've got a guard that is quick like lightning in Keyshawn Tillery, but we would be remiss if we don't talk about the 5-star recruit from Florida, Shanabayev.
I mean, he's electric. right? If you had any chance to watch or see the highlights from the exhibition games or any of his time in high school or OTE, he's an electric shooter, and that's what he's going to bring to the court. He's not afraid to let it fly. He's going to shoot, whether it's open, whether it's contested. But the thing is, he makes it either way. It doesn't really matter if he has a hand in his face or not. He's going to be a high percentage shooter. He's going to get a lot of shots up as well. And I think that's something this team needs. In past seasons, we've seen guys sometimes be a little hesitant to let the ball fly, to let it, get a shot at the basket. But Shanabayev, he's going to let it fly. He's going to play, and he's really athletic. We're going to see some highlight dunks from this man as well. I think it's really going to be interesting to see how Wes Miller works it in. Is he going to have specific sets run for Abayev, or he's just going to let him ISO a little bit, or kind of have more of like a perimeter, roam the perimeter, and let Day Thomas kick out to him? I'm curious to see how he's really used in this offense, but there's a lot of chances for him this upcoming season. I think come conference play, after he gets a little bit acclimated to college basketball, he's going to be a force.
He's confident. He's a sniper, a lefty from the outside, really smooth and creative as a freshman. But the one thing that we can agree on, Justin, like we just mentioned, bucket getter by all costs, something that Cincinnati has really lacked over pretty much Wes Miller's entire tenure, as they need someone that can get a bucket out of structure when it gets rough. And guess what? They got Shanabayev, the electric freshman. But then Keyshawn Tillery, you can't keep your eyes off of this kid because he's going to more than likely come off the bench, but he is a very smooth and explosive player that can play above the rim, a three-level scorer, and an excellent passer at the point guard position.
Oh, he will get early playing time, and he will make an early impact. He's going to do it on all three levels, like you mentioned. He's lightning fast. If you try to close out on him, he's going to blow by you. If you give him space, he's going to shoot the three. It's really tough to guard a player like that. He's not afraid to get inside in the paint either, among the trees. He's just going to be an electric offensive player. If he develops that defensive game, he's going to get a lot of minutes late into this year.
We will look at the opponent for Cincinnati coming up after this break. Western Carolina and Cincinnati coming up at 7 o'clock here on Bearcat Sports Radio. We'll be right back. Welcome back here on Bearcat Sports Radio for the basketball season opening pregame show. I'm Chase Shantz, joined alongside Justin Diedrich. The opponent that Cincinnati will be playing tonight, Western Carolina, the Catamounts, head coached by Tim Kraft, graduated from Florida in 2002 season with the Catamounts. 8-22 last season. They were 4-14 in SoCon play, finished 9th out of 10 in the conference the two previous years before that. Before Kraft took over, the team was 22-10, 11-7 in conference, finished 4th place, and in 2022, 18-16 overall, 10-8 record, 4th in conference, and made the CBI quarterfinals. With Western Carolina, they return a couple of guys that were their leading scorers, and Marcus Kell averaging 11.7 points per game, shooting 45% from the field, 37.9% from three, averaged 5.5 rebounds a game, and shot 75% from the line, as well as redshirt junior guard Cord Stansberry, coming from Pepperdine. Played 2 years there, but last year for the Catamounts, 11.2 points per game, 3.8 rebounds, 1.5 assists. He shot 73 for 80 from the foul line. 91.3%. You think about foul shooting, especially in the NBA, you go to Steph Curry, you go to Kyrie Irving, you go previously Steve Nash.
Jose Calderon, one of the highest percentages of all time.
Exactly. So, again, and the foul shooting obviously is something that the Bearcats would like to work on going into the season, but with Western Carolina, they've got some guys that can shoot some free throws. They bring in some other guys. Again, Chase McKee. They also bring in Julian Sumaro. I'm telling you, man, this is preseason form right now that we have. Abduli Fantakaba. These are some names that I'm saying right now. Tuzan Dumasi from Southern. Vernon Collins from Princeton. So, again, they've got some new guys on this roster that are trying to find their way. Some of them were really a lot of role players. Some had their chances at other schools, trying to work their way up from junior college, from other places. But I got to pose a question for you, Justin. So, in this new world of college basketball that we know and not necessarily love, that some people are very split down the middle about, it is hard to build a team and keep that roster for the next year, for that turnover. When you're a smaller conference team and you're not in the Power 4, Power 5, you're not in the Group of 5 mix, and you're always fighting for that automatic bid, it is so easy for these teams of the higher-ups to poach your best players and try to get them developed. I don't even know where you go from there if you're one of these smaller schools that they're losing some of your best players.
I mean, it's really tough to retool, rebuild every single year because you don't have the recruiting prowess, so you're not going to reload. And like you mentioned, your top players are getting poached by bigger programs with more NIL funding. You don't have the funding to match that. So it's really tough, and I think it relies on a good coaching staff, not only to put in a good system and build a good culture for your team, but you need a good scouting department. Because if you're getting transfers, you're not going to get the top talent. You're not going to get the top 50 players in the transfer portal. So you need to find the diamonds in the rough, who are guys that maybe didn't get big playing time at a bigger program, that you think, okay, maybe they come to my school, we can develop them a little bit, we give them the playing time, and now they can show their true potential to what got them to that big program in the first place. Or maybe some guys even lower. Maybe you go, you have to look at an even smaller program than what you are, and take some top players or some middle-of-the-pack players. You just need to find those diamonds in the rough to come to your school and so that you can implement them into your game plan, into your team. But it's tough because it's so hard to do that. It's so hard to identify these players. I mean, it's impossible for even professional teams to identify players in the NBA draft, let alone now you're looking at an entire college landscape trying to identify diamonds in the rough that you can even get to your school. Because sometimes you have a guy, you really recruit him, it's just not possible to get him there. So it's really, really impossible task for these teams. I'll be interested to see how Western Carolina looks after having to retool a little bit.
The national anthem coming up here from Fifth Third Arena. We'll be back after these messages. We're back here at Fifth Third Arena, preparing for Western Carolina and Cincinnati, beginning at 7 o'clock. Chris Pagan and Miles Essenprise will have the commentary throughout the game. Chase Johnson, Justin Diedrich on the pregame show. The million-dollar question has to be posed just about 15 minutes before the season starts for Wes Miller's Bearcat bunch. Can they make the NCAA tournament? That is the biggest question, and just straight to the point. But with the amount of things that have happened with starting off seasons great, being ranked in the top 15, falling out of the gate in conference play, having the work from behind, not being able to put together full straight games where you have fluidity, you have volume, you have efficiency. It has not been able to be put together as Wes Miller in 4 seasons has 0 NCAA tournament appearances. And with it being year 5 now, there is a growing sense from everyone in this arena, everyone in this area, in the city, Bearcat fans all over the place, that the time is now. Knowing that the amount of stuff that's going on with Cincinnati sports, when it comes from professional teams, other collegiate athletics, everything that's going on in Ohio sports as a whole, especially in the 5-1-3, they turn their attention to Bearcats men's basketball. Justin, this year, can they answer the call and make the NCAA tournament?
Can they do it? Yes. I think this is the single best collection of talent that Wes Miller has had in his years here as a Cincinnati Bearcat. He's done really well on the recruiting trail the past few years. The transfer portal, I think this is the best year he's had in the portal. He kept a couple pieces that are going to make a big difference here. We talked about Day-Day Thomas. I think this is a well-constructed roster and the best collection of talent. Will they make it, though? I hesitate to say yes. It's impossible to predict. You can't predict the tournament when it happens, let alone before it happens. You have no idea who's going to make the tournament. So it's impossible to really give a prediction that I feel confident about, but I do believe they have the talent to do so. They just need to mesh, and I think it's really on Wes Miller to show you can be the guy to take this team to a tournament, because so far he hasn't been able to do that.
They went out and got a general manager, Corey Evans from the Oklahoma City Thunder, building the roster. It's a new role. We're not entirely sure. He doesn't even know exactly what his specific job description is. It's a lot of just figuring it out, trying to put things together quickly, because the growing sense, it's getting hot. It's getting temperature hot. Wes Miller's gone out, and he's gone out across the country. He's gone overseas to try to find this talent as well. All stops around to try to get this team to the tournament and find success for Cincinnati basketball. But I will say this as my last thought, and I'll give Justin the last word as well, and we'll close on out before our broadcasters take place. If you live life on the bubble, it could pop. And that's what's happened the last 4 years for the Bearcats.
For my last thoughts here is I just really hope this is the year. Because if it's not, there's going to be a lot of changes being made, and there may be some darker days ahead. So let's look to the lighter days right now. We're right there. The lamp is on. Let's head towards that light, and let's hope this is the year.
Chris and Miles have the call coming up here on Bearcat Sports Radio. Chase and Justin signing off here for the pregame show. Bearcat men's basketball back for 2025-2026 after the break.
Test, test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Test, test. Test, 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 test. The night rises on the first Monday of November with one of the best sports back in action, college basketball. A sport with historical teams, legendary moments, and so much more to offer. Live from the Queen City, it is the 125th season of Cincinnati men's basketball as the Bearcats host Western Carolina. You're listening to Cincinnati men's basketball on Bearcats Sports Radio. Hello and welcome to Fifth Third Arena. My name is Christian McGon. Joining me today is Miles Essenprise with Chase Yance hosting the pregame and halftime show. A new season is here for Cincinnati basketball, and a lot of expectations are on the line for Coach Wes Miller and this Cincinnati basketball squad. Cincy does a really good job of bringing in talent and performs well in the non-conference slate, but their kryptonite seems to be conference play as of recently. Now, Miles, for Cincinnati, there are a lot of newcomers on this team. Who is one that really stands out to you?
You got to say Sean Abayev. I mean, a McDonald's All-American, one of 8 Cincinnati signees to have the distinction of All-American. In 13 minutes in the All-American game, he racked up 8 points, a rebound, and 2 steals. He is going to be clinical for these Bearcats tonight.
Now, Sean Abayev, you can probably expect him to be in that starting 5 tonight for the Bearcats. Now, flipping the script and looking at Western Carolina, they are under second-year head coach Tim Kraft. They went 8-22 last year, but they do return quite a bit of talent, including forward Marcus Kell.
Marcus Kell, 14 games with 10-plus points in conference play. Career high in points against Chattanooga with 31 and 17 rebounds versus East Tennessee State. If he can get hot, it'll be trouble for the Bearcats.
Now, during pregame, we were talking about this, Miles. The international players on both sides, on both teams, we talked about how basketball has changed recently with a lot of influx of international players, whether it's in the NBA, the G League, or even here in the college aspect. Both teams have quite a few international players.
Yeah, I mean, 7 Cincinnati Bearcats are international players. You've got 2 Spaniards coming in the form of Rodriguez and Miller. You've got Celestine, he's from Canada. You've got Chiom from Senegal. You've got Zealot from France. And even on Western Carolina, you got 3 other players who are international. 1 French, and 1 Sierra Leonean, and 1 Nigerian. It's how basketball has changed, really.
And here, a lot has changed, especially with this Cincinnati roster, as you heard on the pregame show with Chase Yance and Justin Diedrich. Not many faces return to the Cincinnati squad. Only 3 returning players. The rest were either brought in via the portal or were freshman signees. Coming up next will be tip-off here from Cincinnati. Bearcats take on the Catamounts of Western Carolina here on Bearcat Sports Radio. And welcome back to Fifth Third Arena. The Bearcats taking on the Catamounts. You can say it is a battle of the cats, with the catamount being a species of a lynx and also another form of cat. But looking at Western Carolina, they are resided in Cullowhee, North Carolina, founded in 1889 with an enrollment of just under 12,000. They will make the trip up here to the Queen City wearing their all-black uniforms for their season opener. Looking at Cincinnati wearing their classic all-white uniforms, a university that was founded back in 1819. An enrollment of over 54,000 here. It is the 125th season for this men's basketball team. Looking at the starters for Western Carolina, at the guards you have Cord Stansberry, CJ Hyland, and Julian Sumoro. Got the forward, Marcus Gunn. We talked about him in the pregame show. And then at center, Abdoulaye Fanta Kaba. That is the starting five for Western Carolina, led by head coach Tim Kraft. Now for Cincinnati, they will have three guards out there, featuring Day Thomas, the grad student who returns for Cincinnati, Sean Abayev, the highly recruited five-star out of Florida, with Kurt Creasha, the transfer brought in from Kentucky, at the forward Baba Miller, and at the center Mustafa Cham, led by head coach Wes Miller. That is your Cincinnati starting five. Miles, Fifth Third Arena, season moments away from starting. What a time it is to be here in Cincinnati. College basketball is back.
It's a special place to be. This crowd is awesome tonight. We've got a full student section and a half-full Fifth Third Arena for this season opener.
Here on your mobile device, Western Carolina will go left to right, with the Bearcats going right to left. Now for Cincinnati, they are led by head coach Wes Miller. It is his fifth season, and as you heard in the pregame show and also in our show, a lot of expectations for the Cincinnati squad. Miller boasts a record of 82-59 here in Cincinnati, but he's been coaching for 15 years. A record of 267-194 here at the C. Paul logo. To begin things at the jump ball, it is Abdoulaye Fanta Kaba going against Baba Miller, and we are underway here in Cincinnati. Bearcats win the tip. Here's Kurt Creasha at the right wing, guarded by Stansberry, finds Abayev for the left wing, drives in left side, throws up the floater, and that's good for Sean Abayev, his first basket as a Bearcat.
Sean Abayev already off to a great start in a Bearcat uniform.
Talk about the confidence for the five-star recruit out of Florida. Here at the right wing, it's Sumoro, guarded by Creasha. Nice crossover, lost the ball, gets it back, gives it off to Stansberry. Inside the paint, guarded by Abayev, throws up the fadeaway, and that is good for Cord Stansberry. We are tied 2-2 here in Cincinnati. Kurt Creasha has it, dumps off underneath to Mustafa Cham, the transfer from UCF, guarded by Fanta Kaba. Cham at the left block, lowers the shoulder inside the paint, gives it off Creasha, pump fakes, thought about it, here's a three-pointer, yes sir! Kurt Creasha from deep, that's his first bucket as a Bearcat, with Cincy up 5-2, 19 minutes left to go in the first half.
I mean, Kurt Creasha is going to be hitting those all year long.
Here's a three-pointer from Sumoro, that one is off the mark. Giving chase, Fanta Kaba had it, lost it, and it's going to be Bearcats ball. 18:50 left to go. Cincy up 5-2. We talked about it, Kurt Creasha, the transfer from Kentucky, spent a lot of time at different universities across the country. 3 years at Arizona, 1 at West Virginia before playing in Kentucky last year. Did have a season-ending injury that cut his season short. Here's Abayev at the right wing. Abayev gives it off. Baba Miller, he lets one fly. Can't connect there. Rebound by Day Thomas, the point guard. Finds Creasha straight away. He lets that one go. Back-to-back threes for Kurt Creasha.
Cincinnati has not had a problem with offensive rebounding, and it shows in another three-pointer by Creasha.
6 points for Creasha. Cats up 8-2. Sumoro underneath. Fanta Kaba had it, gives it off in the left corner. It's going to be CJ Hyland. Hyland bounce pass to Fanta Kaba at the left wing. Picks up his dribble. Looking, nice bounce pass underneath to Sumoro, and he finishes the layup. That's 4 points on the night. Here's Day Thomas the other way. Acrobatic finish, can't fall. Rebound by Fanta Kaba.
Kaba is a two-way player, center, but can also dish the ball with proficiency.
Sumoro in the paint, dishes it off to Stansberry, goes inside the left block, finds Sumoro straight away, guarded by Abayev. A size mismatch at the free throw line, poked away by Abayev. but it falls right in the hands of Marcus Kell. His shot is up. It's no good. Rebounded by Baba Miller. Cats going the other way. Miller still has it right wing, directing traffic. Tries to find Abayev. He does have him inside the arc. Abayev bodying down Sumoro. Goes to the fadeaway. That one connects. Sean Abayev, 4 points on the night. Cats up 10-4.
Sean Abayev is clinical from 15 feet. You're going to be seeing a lot of mid-pointers all season.
Sumoro lets one go at the free throw line. That's in and out. Rebounded by Baba Miller once again. Bearcats in transition. Kershaw, Thomas. He lets one go from deep. Can't connect. But there's Miller with the offensive rebound inside the paint. Guarded by Kaba. He goes up. Tough finish. And that falls for Baba Miller. His first basket of the night. Cats up 12-4. 16:53 left to go in the first half. And so far, the Bearcats shooting 5 of 8 from the floor. That's 63%.
The Bearcats last year had a rebound margin of plus 1.2. It is absolutely clinical for these Bearcats to be rebounding.
5 rebounds on the day for Cincinnati. Here's Kell, picks up his dribble, goes underneath. Stansberry off the glass. Nice finish right there from Cord Stansberry. He has 4 points tonight. Fast break from the Bearcats. Thomas had it. Gives it off to Miller. Straight away. Gives it to Kershaw to Abayev. In and out. But there's Day Thomas with the rebound. Had it. Lost it. Gets it back. Abayev thought about it. Gives it off to Miller. Drives inside. That one's to Chiam, and he lost it. Here comes the Catamounts going the other way. Nice move by Sumoro inside the paint. That one's bounced around. He lost it. Here come the Bearcats again. Abayev had it. And that one still stays in play by Western Carolina. Overall, a bad stretch of basketball on both sides. Under 16 minutes left to go. Cats up 12-6. Here's Stansberry. He can't connect there. And that's a foul, I believe, against Fancy Kaba. That's going to be his first. And here we hit our first media timeout. 15:48 left to go in this first half. Cats up 12-6. Looking at the scoring sheet, Kurt Kershaw back-to-back three-pointers. And how about the freshman Sean Abayev chipping in 4 points as well?
What can you say? Kurt Kershaw, 2 for 2 from 3. A little bit of sloppy basketball here before that timeout was taken. But overall, like what I'm seeing from the Bearcats, they have been good with the rebounding. They have been hustling. They have been pushing the pace of play well. They are playing Bearcat basketball.
Well, here in Cincinnati, it's a media timeout. 15:48 left to go. Cats up 12-6. You're listening to Cincinnati basketball here on Bearcat Sports Radio. Welcome back here to Fifth Third Arena. Cats up 12-6 at our first media timeout with 15:48 left to go in this first half. As I alluded to, Wes Miller in his 15th year of coaching, he did spend some time at UNC Greensville, in which he did play Western Carolina a total of 20 times. As a member of the Southern Conference, Miller's overall record against Western Carolina, he is 11-9. But with the series history between Cincinnati and Western Carolina, Cincy leads that 4-0, including their 102-51 win a couple of years ago, I believe back in 2017. Here, the 5th overall meeting between these two schools, all of them have been in Cincinnati.
I mean, for Wes Miller, it is clearly a put-up or shut-up game. Not great record against Western Carolina all around. However, with a better team and a better strategy going forward, I think this is Wes Miller's game to prove himself as a strong fixture in Cincinnati culture.
Bearcats went 19-16 last year. They started the season 10-1, but then they lost 15 of their last 24 games, including going 7-13 in conference play. I alluded to it in the pregame in our open. It's just been the kryptonite for Wes Miller and this Bearcat squad in Big 12 play. Yes, they do have a handful of good wins, especially last year. They beat Dayton, they beat Xavier. But then in Big 12 play, it's almost like they crumble a little bit, and they're looking to really push that aside and move on past that this season.
They've struggled in close games. They haven't been able to put these close games away clinically and efficiently, and that has bit them in the behind more than once.
Well, here for Cincinnati, Mustafa Cham checks out. Insert Tyler McKinley, the hometown kid, making his Bearcat debut after having a season-ending knee injury last year. Here the Bearcats inbound on the right side of the court. Here's Cretia guarded heavily by Stansberry. Cretia crosses the C-Paul logo, angling towards the Western Carolina bench. Now goes to the right wing. Finds Sincere Harris, the transfer from West Virginia, making his Bearcat debut as well. Here's Day-Day Thomas in the right corner, looking underneath the Miller. Miller drives in and throws it down. Baba Miller, 4 points on the night. That one with authority. Cats up 14-6.
Baba Miller is going to be using his size all season to throw down hefty slams.
Baba Miller, 6'11", 225 pounds, a kid from Mallorca, Spain. Here's Western Carolina. Marcus Kerr inside the paint, throws up the floater, and that one falls in for Marcus Kerr, his first basket of the night.
Just snuck over the Spaniard's Miller.
Catamounts down by 6, under 15 left to go. Here's McKinley at the right wing, gives it off. Baba Miller has it, dishes off to Sincere Harris. They go to McKinley underneath. McKinley inside the paint. He lost it, but a foul is called. I believe that's on Samuel Dada, the 6'9" freshman from Nigeria. Here, 2 subs will be made for Western Carolina. Insert Chase McKee and Tidjon Dumassy. Here, Keyshawn Tillery and Jalen Celestine both check in for Cincinnati, with Kirk Cretia and Baba Miller coming out. Bearcats will inbound the ball underneath the basket, left side. Harris will have the inbounding duties. Looking, gives it off Thomas, pull-up jumper. He loves that. And it rolls in for Day-Day Thomas, his first basket. That short corner baseline shot is one he loves. We saw it so many times last year. Cats up 16-8, and a foul is called on the court. Let's see what number we have here. Couldn't exactly make out the number, but
I believe it is Sincere Harris with the
Sincere
foul.
Harris, the defensive specialist for Cincinnati. He did take a redshirt year to focus more overall on basketball. He doesn't want to be just a defensive guy. He really wants to contribute via the offense as well. Did spend some time at Illinois before going to Morgantown. Here's a corner three-pointer. It's up, and it's no good. Fight for the rebound. That is Samuel Dada. He had it. McKinley may have had a block on that one. Here's a fast break from the Bearcats. Sincere Harris, nice move. Reverse layup. Count it! And one!
Potential three-point play for Sincere Harris. What an absolutely incredible finish through the foul.
An acrobatic finish. He goes over the defender. Reverse layup off the glass. And it's good for Sincere Harris, the junior from Canton, Ohio. As you mentioned, looking to convert the three-point play. Cats up 18-8, 14:08 left to go in the first half.
Certainly proving his offensive prowess, the Big 12 all-defensive team leader.
Harris free throws up, and it's good. He converts the three-point play. Cats up 19-8. Bearcats showing some pressure. Here's Talon Petway, the freshman from Worcester, Massachusetts.
Bearcats playing a little bit of bully ball, not letting West Carolina into the halfway line.
That one might be poked away, still in play. They're going to say out of bounds on Justin Johnson. He had it in front of that Bearcat bench, and he lost it. It's another turnover for the Catamounts.
The momentum has definitely favored Cincinnati Bearcats as this first half has gone on.
For Cincinnati, it looks like Jordi Rodriguez, a freshman from Barcelona, checks in as well, making his Bearcat debut. We talked about it in our open. So many international players, 7 of them for the Cincinnati team. And Rodriguez, one of them, a sharpshooter. Here's Harris, drives in, finds Rodriguez. How about a start for your career? Yes, sir! Jordi Rodriguez, just as he did in Spain, hits out another three-pointer. Cats up 22-8, and it looks to be another foul on Sincere Harris.
Simple catch and shoot for the Spaniard. He is clinical from the corner position.
Averaged 14 points, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists per game while teaming up with fellow Bearcat Baba Miller to lead Spain to the championship at the 2023 FIBA U19 World Cup. Abayev checks back in for the Bearcats, replacing Sincere Harris. Justin Johnson has it right wing. Guarded by Rodriguez, finds some trouble, and that one's stolen away by McKinley. Good defense by the redshirt freshman. Here's Celestine, finds Rodriguez and McKinley straight away, thought about it, drives in, picks up a dribble, finds Rodriguez. Can he go back to back? He is fouled. It's no good, but Rodriguez will go to the line to shoot 3 free throws.
Bit of an ugly shot trying to convert the 4-point play. Couldn't quite get the three-pointer to fall, but did draw the foul.
Cats up 22-8 here in this first half, 13-17 left to go. Here's the thing, when he played in the Spanish League, his 2-point field goal stats, ready? He went 24 for 57 last year, as he takes his first free throw, and it's back ironed, no good. His 3-point field goal shooting, 71 for 173. The definition of a catch and shoot guy as he hits his second free throw.
Spanish Kyle Korver, Jordi Rodriguez.
6'6", 195, reigning from Barcelona, Spain. Can he knock down his third free throw? It is up, and it rims out. Rodriguez goes 1 of 3 from the line, counts up 23-8, 13-12 left to go in this first half. Here's Tidjane Dumassy, has it the left wing. The kid from Paris, France, finds himself playing for Louisiana. And a nice deflection made by McKinley. Driving in was Chase McKee, who had a dunk opportunity. McKinley just played the ball, met him there first. And the Catamounts will have a throw in, or at least will inbound it, the right side of the hoop.
Big block from McKinley.
Here's Fisher Brown straight away. It's a handoff to Dumassy. Calls for a screen, guarded by Rodriguez. Dumassy, spin move inside the paint, try to go underneath, and McKinley with another steal. Fast break for the Bearcats. Keyshawn Tillery goes in, left side layup, falls in! Caps up 25-8. That's Tillery's first basket.
Absolutely graceful finish from Tillery.
How about McKinley playing exceptional defense so far in this first half? Driving in, McKee has it, short corner, the baseline, finds Fisher Brown left wing, looking for an outlet. Gives it to Dumassy straight away, goes in the head of steam, dished off in the corner. Nice pump fake, he lets this one go, and he connects. A three-pointer made by Julian Sumoro. That is his 5th point of the night. Catamount trail 25-11.
Rodriguez slipped on defense there, left a man open.
Here's Tillery, right wing, drives in the right side. Tries to fight through, and he lost it. He threw it away. McKee to Sumoro. Morrow back to McKee in the corner. Fisher Brown had it. Drives in. He throws that one away. Back to Cullowhee, North Carolina. It's another turnover for Western Carolina as we hit another media timeout here in Cincinnati. Cats up 25-11. 11:55 left to go. Bearcats shooting 71% from the floor. They have made their last 5 shots. And for Western Carolina, shooting 42% from the floor. 4 turnovers in their last 3 minutes and 9 seconds. They really have to pick that up and really maintain ball security.
I mean, defense has been a strong suit for this Bearcat team. What they have been struggling with is free throw percentage, only going 66% from the line last season. And it goes to show right with Rodriguez. I mean, he missed 2 out of his 3 free throws. They need to be more clinical at the line if they want to convert these big-ticket plays.
If you've been a Cincinnati fan for a while, especially these past couple of years, the free throws have been another kryptonite. I mean, you look at the first Big 12 season, and especially last year too, how many close losses the Bearcats have had? A lot of them came down to missed free throws. They're called free throws for a reason, and you see the really, really good teams are excelling in that category. As you mentioned, Bearcats going 66% from the line last year, 14th in the Big 12. If they want to make a push and being a contender and being one of the top teams in the conference and the nation, they're going to have to pick up the free throws.
I think a lot of that falls on Wes Miller. He's not devoting enough time to it in practice, and the Bearcats are struggling at the line as a result of it.
So, as you mentioned, Rodriguez 1 of 3 from the free throw line. So far today, the Bearcats 2 of 4. 3-point shooting, 3 of 6, shooting 50%. Overall, last year was kind of a struggle, you can say, shooting 32% from deep. That was 14th as well in the Big 12. But the Cats are up 25-11. We'll take a short timeout here at Fifth Third Arena. Christian McGowan and Miles Essenprise bringing you action here of Cincinnati basketball on Bearcat Sports Radio. And welcome back to Fifth Third Arena. Cats up 25-11, 11:55 left to go in this first half in the season opener for both teams and many teams across the country in college basketball. As I mentioned, Tim Kraft, the head coach of Western Carolina, enters his second season as a Catamount. He went 8-22 last year, but this is his 13th season overall coaching. Boasts a record of 196-188. Spent 11 seasons at Gardner-Webb as their head coach. Average around 17 wins per season, and he made the NCAA tourney back in 2019, the team's first ever appearance. 2019, well, they lost in the first round to eventual champions Virginia, 71-56, but they did lead against Virginia in that first half. Many were thinking, could a 16 seed do it again and knock out Virginia? Alley-oop to Chom, throws it down. Good feed from Jordy Rodriguez. And Chom gets his first basket as a Bearcat. What a one it was, showing the flashes of a Bandago, what we saw last year. Cats up 27-11.
Using every inch of that 7-2 frame to slam that down with authority.
Cats on a 13-3 run over the last 3 minutes. Here's Kell. He lets one fly straight away. No good. Fight for the rebound. That one goes off of Catamount last. Goes off of Julian Sumoro, the grad student from the Bronx, New York.
Tried to throw that off of Krisha.
Smart play, but eventually he ended up hitting himself. Here, Rodriguez will inbound it right in front of the Bearcat bench, right side of the court. Finds Celestine, gets it right back, crosses the timeline. 11:20 remains in this first half. Cats up by 16. Looking to start the season 1-0 like they did last year. Krisha has it, finds Abayev. He already has a couple baskets tonight. Abayev finds straight away Chom. He lets one go. Can't hit that one. Fight for a rebound, and it's secured by Marcus Kell, the preseason all-conference selection for Western Carolina. Kell straight away, guarded by Celestine at the right wing. Goes inside, finds, that's going to be Fanticaba. Straight away, popped around, but it's secured by Stansbury. He pulls up from the right elbow. He can't fall. Rebounded by Kaba. Goes inside off the glass. No good. But a foul is called. That will send Fanticaba to the free throw line.
Stansbury, 11.2 points per game last season, shooting 38% from the field, missing a pretty open fadeaway. Defensive error from the Cincinnati Bearcats.
Western Carolina down by 16. Fanticaba goes to the line. Shot 25% from the charity stripe last year, and he splashes that first one home.
Looking at the student section, a lot of distraction signs waving in front of Fanticaba.
I hate to say this, but I do see a cutout of Speed in this iconic meme from what is considered the greatest stream of all time. Well, so many sides of that student section, and it works because Kaba missed his second one. Fast break, Abaya pulls up from deep, and that one is way off the mark, rebounded by Kaba. Just rushed it a little too bit for Sean Abayev. Here's a three-pointer, left wing. That one rims out from Highland. That one secured by Baba Miller. Krisha has it, back to Miller, right wing, finds Jordy Rodriguez. Goes across the court to Krisha, tried to find Chom. It was deflected away by C.J. Highland, the sophomore from Loganville, Georgia. Appeared in 27 games with 20 starts last year as a freshman.
Not quite enough gas on that pass from Krisha to get it to Cham. It'll be knocked out of bounds by Fantakaba.
Rodriguez checks out, insert Day Thomas. Abayev will inbound it in front of the scores table, right next to that Western Carolina bench. 10-14 left to go. Cats up by 15. They lead 27-12. Krisha has it, finds Thomas. 10 left on the shot clock to Miller, left corner. Miller has it, driving out on Kell, almost lost it, finds Krisha. Krisha steps back, lets one go, and it's no good. Poked out by Cham to Abayev. Thomas, he'll try a three-pointer. He can't hit. Another rebound, almost had it, was Miller, but poked out by Sumoro. Here come the Catamounts. Stansberry drives in left side, thought about the step back, picks up his dribble, and he finds Dumassy up top to Kell straight away. Kell, a dribble, handoff, Sumoro lets one go. That one is in and out, rebounded by Abayev.
2 three-pointers rattle in and out for the Catamounts in a row.
Cham underneath at the block, throws it up, no good, but a foul is called. That will send Mustafa Cham to the free throw line. Cham, a sophomore from Dakar, Senegal. If you remember Aziz Bandago last year for the Bearcats, he also, as well, was from Senegal. Cham coming over from UCF. He was named a Kyle Macy Award finalist last year. That's given to the nation's top freshman as he started all 34 games for the Knights. His first free throw is up, and it's no good.
Again, the free throw problem for the Bearcats coming back to haunt them once more.
2 of 5 now on the night from the charity stripe. Both teams have hit a scoring drought essentially. Bearcats missing their last 4 shots. Western Carolina 1 for the last 8. Cham's second free throw, he lets it go, and he hits it. Cats up 28-12, 9:28 left to go. That's Cham's third point of the night. Dumassy crosses the C-Paul logo, guarded by Kurt Krisha, straight ahead. 20 left on the shot clock. Dumassy still has it. Left wing, goes inside, guarded by Krisha still. They go in the corner to Kell, drives in right side, baseline, spin move up top. Dumassy finds Kell, tries to go in the corner. Stansberry, good defense by the Bearcats. Inside, Sumoro dishes it off. Stansberry, 2 left on the shot clock, guarded by Abayev, and they're not going to get this one off. A defensive stand for Cincinnati, and it's another turnover for Western Carolina, their 6th of this game.
Cincinnati has done an absolutely fantastic job neutralizing the threat of Marcus Kell. Couldn't get anything working offensively, and it leads to another Cincinnati turnover.
Western Carolina averaged 14 turnovers per game last year. That was last in the Southern Conference. Here's Cham, has it in front of the C-Paul logo. 15 left to go on the shot clock. Krisha back off to Cham. Cham thought about it, pump fake, gives it back to Krisha, drives inside, alley-oop to Cham, and he just touches it in, and the foul. What a play by Cham. Cats up 30-12. 8:34 left to go. He just got a finger to it, and it went in.
Looked almost like a volleyball play. Cham gets a chance to put on the one he missed back in. Another free throw attempt.
Cham, 5 points on the night. He's 1 of 2 from the charity stripe as Sensu Harris checks in for Sean Abayev. Abayev putting up some good minutes in his Bearcat debut. Abayev 4 points on the night and 2 assists. To complete the three-point play will be Mustafa Cham with his team up 18. Cham releases, and once again it's no good. Here come the Catamounts. Dumassy angling towards the left side, crosses the timeline. Goes to his right, dribble handoff Sumoro to Stansberry to Kell, left wing. A violation is called. Offensive foul on Western Carolina. I believe that's on Dumassy. Either Dumassy or Samuel Dada.
I believe I saw the ref put up 12. That's Samuel Dada.
So another turnover for Western Carolina. Bearcats will inbound it in front of their own bench, courtesy of Baba Miller. 8:20 left to go in the season opener for both teams. Cats up by 18. Day Thomas straight away to Sincere Harris, who finds Miller at the left wing. Cham gives it right back to Miller. Miller playing that stretch forward, drives in, good finish from Baba Miller. 6 points in this game, Cats up by 20 as the referee takes a tumble on that far side.
The Mallorcan is making his presence known against these Catamounts, up 20 now.
Here's Cal at the timeline, 15 left on the shot clock, driving in right side, lowers the shoulder, throws up the floater, and connects. For Cal, his 4th point tonight. Catamounts down by 18. Chom inside the paint, lost it. He was collapsed in by a couple of Catamounts. Here's Dumassy, has it at the right elbow, dishes it off to Cal straight away. Thought about it, spin move inside the paint, double spin move, goes off the glass, can't finish, but a good putback is in by Samuel Dada. Bearcats only up by 16 now. Baba Miller thought about taking the shot as he drove in, and that's going to be a double dribble, or at least a carry on Chom. So a stretch of, you can say, unpleasant play for Coach Wes Miller and his Bearcats squad. His team is still up by 16, but still, you kind of hit these waves, Miles, where they look really good, and then you realize, hey, this is the first game of our season.
Definitely a lot of kinks to be straightened out. They let Marcus Kell get his first real scoring opportunity. Doesn't go in, but they allow the putback from Samuel Dada. There are some struggles with this Cincinnati team, but none that cannot be worked out. This team has great potential, and Wes Miller is really on the hot seat. So I think he's going to put it together this season. The Bearcats have opportunities to fix these mistakes, smooth these offensive difficulties. Defensively, they look great, not allowing Western Carolina any easy baskets. So far, they look great, and they look not great. I mean, it's up and down.
You do also have to point out, though, for Cincinnati, they only returned 3 players from last year's team. So many new players brought in, whether it's the transfer portal or freshman signees. But these guys, I mean, they haven't been playing basketball together for a long time, you can say. This is their first real game experience if you don't count the exhibitions they played at Michigan and against Arkansas. But you look at what you turn over from last year. You lose Dan Skillings. He went to Baylor. Tyler Betsy went to Syracuse. Josh Reed, Penn State. Jizzle James, the whole debacle there, how he got kicked off the team. He was the team's leading scorer last year, poised for a big junior season, but then whatever happened with him, he gets sent off, and now Day Thomas, who returns, is the starting point guard. Last year, Jizzle James was that starting point guard, and you had Thomas come off the bench, a good 1-2 duo, and now you're relying on Day Thomas to be that starting point guard. But it goes back to the point where these guys, first game of the season, they're still learning about each other. They're still trying to gain that chemistry. And here in this first half, they're up by 16, 7:14 left to go here in Cincinnati. We'll take a quick timeout as well from the booth here at Fifth Third Arena. Cats up by 16 in the first half. Here from Fifth Third Arena, Cats up 32-16, 7:14 left to go here in this first half. Looking at Western Carolina, they're shooting 37% from the floor. Here's a stat for you, Miles. Last year, there were 355 men's D1 programs that took action in men's basketball. For Western Carolina, they were 352nd in field goal percentage, shooting 39% from the floor a year ago. 327th in three-point percentage. And then 335th in scoring defense, averaging nearly 80 points per game. Looking to erase those bad stats from memory this season.
It explains the scoreline.
Nice pass underneath. Lost it. Was Justin Johnson. A corner three-pointer from Talon Petway. Offensive rebound for Western Carolina. Stolen, poked away. Sincere Harris had it. It went off of his foot, and there's a jump ball between Jalen Celestine and it looks like Abdullah Kaba.
Is that Celestine or Zealot?
Oh, good point. That is actually Halvin Zella, the sophomore from France. He enrolled in UC last September, cleared the preseason NCAA waiver, and made his college debut against UAPB. He was a captain of that French U20 FIBA team in the summer of 2024 in its gold medal run. Played in 10 games last year. Halvin Zella. Western Carolina has it. They try to go in the corner to Justin Johnson. He lost it. Sincere Harris brings it past the Paul logo, drives in right side, goes off the glass. It is blocked, but a foul is called on Western Carolina on the driving Sincere Harris.
Sent Harris flying. He seems to be sitting down on the ground for a little bit longer than you might think. And it looks like he's okay.
Hear the applause from the fans here at Fifth Third Arena. A lot of hard contact there with Harris. He will go to the free throw line. He is 1 of 1 today from the charity stripe. Harris gets set for his first one. Nothing but net. Caps up 33-16 for Harris. His 4th point of the night. The kid from St. Vincent St. Mary as he knocks down a second free throw.
I know another Ohioan who went there.
Back-to-back state champs for SVSM. That was Sincere Harris play with Malachi Branham, who was also in the NBA. Zella steals that one, finds Tillery across CPAL logo left wing. Tillery drives in right side, dishes it off. Baba Miller thought about it in the corner, brings it back out the right wing. Nice crossover, drives in, and foul is called on Abdullah Kaba once again.
Baba Miller thought about it and then decided to drive against Kaba. Ultimately successful in drawing the foul. Couldn't quite get to the hole.
For Cincinnati with 5:58 left to go in the first half. They are up 34-16. Bearcats are in the single bonus, so they will go for a 1-and-1 with Baba Miller. Miller shot 64% from the charity stripe a year ago at Florida Atlantic. Miller spins the ball, gets set, lets it go, hits the first one. Cats up 35-16 for Miller, 7 points on the night. Miller spent 2 years in Tallahassee at Florida State before transferring to Florida Atlantic, where he started all 34 games last year before coming here to Cincinnati as he missed his second free throw.
Again, free throw shooting. Kryptonite for the Bearcats.
Here's Talon Petway, has it right wing, drives inside, try to go underneath, it's a bad pass. Here's Sincere Harris, fast break, rises up, and he can't throw it down, but he is fouled hard by Marcus Kell.
More hard contact for Sincere Harris. We almost saw a man get put on a poster, and it appears Harris is okay, but that is 2 big fouls in quick succession for Sincere Harris.
You hear the applause once again. This is the effort Sincere Harris has laid out on this court so far in this first half for Cincinnati. The referee makes sure he is okay. Sincere Harris walks back to the top of the three-point line before returning to the charity stripe. Bearcats in a double bonus as he hits the first one. Cats up by 20 with Jalen Celestine and Jordy Rodriguez coming in for Day-Day Thomas and Baba Miller. Harris, 6 points on the night.
Harris has been really good at drawing these fouls. When you play a physical, aggressive style of basketball, you draw fouls.
He missed the second one. Bearcats shooting 7 of 13 from the charity stripe, something that, well, we've seen it happen so many times before in this game and also a season ago and throughout the tenure of Wes Miller. Sansbury has it inside the paint, throws it up. He can't connect, but a foul on Sincere Harris as he fouled for the pump fake from Cord Stansberry, the redshirt junior from Bermuda Dunes, California. And Abayev comes to the scorer's table, and all indication will come in for Sincere Harris.
That's something we see more now in basketball. When players fall for the pump fake, they jump into them to draw the foul and get an and one. You see players like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He's been absolutely incredible with drawing fouls like that.
Stansbury, 4 points on the night. His first free throw, can't connect. Harris, 3 fouls already, so he will take a breather for what is likely the final 5:22 in this first half, as Abayev will check in for Cincinnati. 5:22 left to go. Cats up 36-16 here in the Queen City. Fans making noise. Stansbury's second free throw rattles out. Rebound secured by Zella.
Talk about Cincinnati's struggles from the charity stripe. West Carolina now shooting 1 for 4 from the free throw line.
Tillery drives in left side, goes in, finds Abayev. Abayev, step back three-pointer, and he hits it.
We saw him practicing that exact move pre-game. That step back corner three is Sean Abayev's bread and butter.
7 points for Abayev, the McDonald's All-American. Inside the paint, it's Cal. He lost it, but a foul is called on Jordi Rodriguez. And Coach Miller, you can see he is visibly animated at his team right there. There's a lot of fouls the Bearcats are committing that they necessarily don't really have to. Up by 23.
I mean, Wes Miller clearly upset, but West Carolina is struggling to complete on these free throws.
Bearcats on a 7-0 run over the last 89 seconds. Western Carolina on a scoring drought lasting 2.5 minutes. Kell looks to end it here, and he does with his first free throw. 5 points on the night from Marcus Kell, the kid from Fort Mill, South Carolina. Cats still up 39-17, 4:51 left to go. Kell can't hit the second one, rebound by Zella once again. Tillery finds Rodriguez straight ahead, goes to Celestine. He lets one fly straight away, and he sinks it. Celestine, his first basket as a Bearcat. It's a three-pointer. Cats up 42-17 in this first half.
Canadian is has a 35% three-point percentage. He is clinical from beyond the arc.
He lost it. Here's Tillery, goes inside. Nice move. Here's Zella, and he missed the layup. It rolled out, but Tillery gets the steal. Drives in, goes off the glass. Count it, and one. Keyshawn Tillery. He remained alert. He kept the play alive, got the steal, hit the basket, draw the foul, and one. Cats up 44-17.
Samaro tries to draw the charge, can't quite get his hands set, ends in an and one for Keyshawn Tillery, excuse me.
He missed the free throw. Tillery, top 50 overall recruit nationally, and as high as number 6 amongst point guards in the nation. Received 28 scholarships from programs including Florida, Kansas, as Stansbury knocks down that three-pointer. His team down by 24, 4 minutes left to go. But Tillery, so many offers, so much talent he has. Zella, he's going to let one go straight away. Can't hit. Rodriguez trying to get the rebound. Knocked it away, and a foul is called, I believe, on Marcus Kell. And that will send us to another media timeout. 3:51 left to go in this first half. Cats up 44-20.
I mean, we see the Bearcats continuously struggling with free throws, and you got to think it's a culture issue. Wes Miller, with all these new players, a revolving door of transfer window players, is he able to implement the culture efficiently with these new players?
The Cats up by 24, shooting 7 of 14 from the charity stripe. Something that you're going to irk at if you are a Cincinnati fan, whether you're listening or watching this game. Well, we're going to take a quick break here from the Queen City. Cats up by 24, 3:51 left to go in the first half. You are listening to Bearcat Basketball on Bearcat Sports Radio. 3:51 left to go in this first half. Cats up 44-20. Miles, something that strikes my eye for Cincinnati. 9 different scores so far in this first half, led by 7 points from the freshman Shauna Bayev and Baba Miller, the senior from Mallorca, Spain, just sharing the rock all around. Bearcats having so many different scoring options so far.
I mean, they know how to swing the rock. They're great at ball movement, and they've got so many proficient scorers, it's almost hard to choose. There's so many scorers, and you got to get all these people the ball to get them more comfortable in this offense.
For Western Carolina, only 5 scorers in this game so far, led by Cord Stansberry, 7 points. He spent 2 years at Pepperdine before transferring to Western Carolina. Action in 32 games across 2 seasons at Pepperdine. Here at the free throw line will be Jordy Rodriguez. He has 4 points tonight. His first free throw is up, and that one falls in. Almost came out, but hey, he hits it. Cats up 45-20. Rodriguez looking to finish the set. His second free throw is good. Rodriguez 6 points on the night. Cats up 46-20. McKinley will check in for Jordy Rodriguez.
First Bearcat tonight to hit both free throws. Gotta love to see it.
3:50 left to go in half number 1 in the Queen City. Cats up by 26. Stansberry has it left wing, guarded by Celestine, and a foul is called on Celestine. Celestine, the grad student from Ontario, Canada, spent 4 years in Berkeley. He played for the Cal Golden Bears before transferring and playing 1 year with the Baylor Bears. And now he's in Cincinnati playing for the Bearcats. So if you tell me, I think Celestine likes playing for Cats.
I'd reckon so.
Stansberry has it straight away, goes right side, the right wing, picks up his dribble, looking for an outlet. He finds Julian Sermoro, guarded by Abayev. 8 left on the shot clock, gives it off. That's going to be Chase McKee, dribble hand off to Johnson. Johnson, he has to get one up, step back, his foot's on the line, lets it go, no good, rebounded by Carter Carisha. Gives it off to Abayev, left wing. Abayev picks up his dribble, gives it off to McKinley straight away. Dribble handoff, Celestine. He's going to let one fly right wing, can't connect. Fight for the rebound, and it's saved momentarily by C.J. Hyland. Throws it out of bounds, and the Bearcats will inbound it with 3:05 left to go.
Celestine is definitely comfortable from beyond that three-point arc. You're looking at 35% from the three-point line last year, and named to the Pac-12's top 3 shooters in the Pac-12.
Well, Carisha inbounded it, threw it off the back of Hyland, gets it back. Abayev, pull-up jumper, and he connects. Sean Abayev, 9 points on the night in his Bearcat debut. His squad up by 28.
Definitely been an effective debut for Sean Abayev.
Simora working on Abayev, drives in, dishes off from the corner. Stansberry pump fake, spin move, goes inside, double team, kicks it out. Simora, right wing, he's going to let it go, and it's nothing but net for Julian Simora. 8 points on the night. Catamounts down by 25. 2:27 left to go in this first half.
Everything about that play was sloppy except the shot.
Carisha has it, left wing, dishes out. Cham, straight away, guarded by McKee, finds Abayev, and an offensive foul will go against Mustafa Cham. That is going to be Cincinnati's 6th turnover of the game, compared to Western Carolina, who already has 12 in this first half. 12.
You look at the stats, similar on rebounds, similar on steals, similar on blocks, but where the difference is most apparent is the turnovers. The Bearcats have 6 compared to the Catamounts' 12.
As I mentioned, the Catamounts averaged 14 per game last year. They already have 12 in the first half. Stansberry goes inside, finishes the layup. He has 9 points today. Catamounts down 25-48, 2 minutes even left to go in the first half. Abayev drives in, lost it, threw it up, and he just has to poke it out of bounds. A freshman play from a freshman player. One of the few mistakes he's made before Abayev. He's looked really, really well in this first half for Cincinnati.
Overall, it's been a great debut from Abayev. A little bit of a slip up there as he knocks it out of bounds. Carisha unable to get a hold on it. A little bit of inexperience showing there for Abayev.
Abayev, the 2nd highest rated recruit of the 247 Sports era for Cincinnati. Stansberry, he connects again. Back-to-back three for Cord Stansberry. Wes Miller livid, takes the timeout. It's an 8-0 run over the last minute for Western Carolina. 1:44 remains in this first half. Cats up 48-28. Miller burns that timeout. And slowly but sure, here come the Catamounts starting to find their rhythm as of recently.
I mean, the three brings the deficit to 20. Bit of a Chris Paul three-pointer made there. But overall, they are starting to clean up some of the offensive mistakes. They're looking better on defense. They're forcing some Bearcat mistakes on defense. They're digging their claws in. They're just on the precipice of making a comeback. Can't quite get it there, though.
Well, if you're Cincinnati and Coach Miller, these final 1 minute and 44 second, you're going to have to play your lights out right here. You got to finish the half on a high note. As here, Sumoro will bring the pressure as the Bearcats inbound to Kerr Krisha, who's named after Steve Kerr, his father's favorite basketball player, NBA champion on the Chicago Bulls, and as the coach for the Golden State Warriors. Thomas has it right wing, guarded by Highland, and a foul is called underneath. I believe that's on Cord Stansberry. As Jordy Rodriguez took a tumble. As I mentioned, double bonus for the Bearcats, so Rodriguez will go to the line to shoot 2 free throws.
Cord Stansberry is not who they need drawing these fouls. He is their point leader. He is their main offensive output. It would be absolutely horrific for the Catamounts if he were to go out on fouls.
2 fouls on the day for Stansberry as Rodriguez hits his first free throw. 7 points on the night for the Spaniard. Cats up 49-28. 90 seconds left to go even as Samuel Dada will check in for Stansberry. Stansberry's not going to play these final 90 seconds with 2 fouls. Rodriguez looking to knock down his second free throw of this attempt. He's 4 of 6 from the line. And he can't. Tries to get his own rebound, and it goes the other way.
Visible frustration on the face of Jordy Rodriguez after he couldn't come away with his own rebound after another missed free throw.
Chase McKee inbounds it to C.J. Highland. Highland crosses the timeline. 1:22 left to go. Catamounts down by 21 in game number 1 for both teams. McKee, right wing, has it, guarded by McKinley, almost thrown away. As Highland gets it, drives into right side, loses his balance, and a travel is called. Turnover number 13 in this first half for Western Carolina.
Kerr Krisha was screaming at the referee. He believed he called it on himself, but it ended up being a travel off of C.J. Highland.
Well, Krisha will bring up the ball right side of the right wing, finds Thomas. 1 minute left to go in this first half. Rodriguez has it around the perimeter, looking for an outlet, gives it to McKinley at the free throw line, spin move in the paint, throws up the floater, can't fall, rebounded by C.J. Highland. Western Carolina going with tempo. They find Sumoro, he lets one go left wing, can't hit it, rebounded by McKinley. 40 seconds left, Thomas has it, crosses the C. Paul logo. Krisha drives in, pulls it back out, he sends one from deep, can't finish, rebounded by Chase McKee. 28 seconds left to go. A 1 second differential between the play clock and shot clock as Western Carolina will take a timeout. 24.7 remains in half number 1.
If you're Cincinnati, halftime can't come soon enough. They have been struggling on offense, struggling to put anything on the board in this late first half. They got to put it together. They got to get themselves mentally right at halftime to overcome this scoring drought they've been on. 0
field goals made in the last 2 minutes and 37 seconds for the Bearcats. A team that is 4-0 in season openers under Coach Wes Miller has an average margin of victory of more than 32 points in those wins. Cincy looking to go 5-0 in season openers under Coach Wes Miller. So far they've had a good fight, playing pretty well against Western Carolina, but also at the same time, I talk about those waves. You can look really good, and then you look like this is, hey, game 1 of the season. If you're Wes Miller, just gotta look for more consistency, I think. Honestly, as I mentioned, you're playing pretty solid. You're shooting pretty well from the floor, not necessarily the free throw line, but hey, are we surprised at that? I think, just like you mentioned, just play good in that second half. Just close up the half on a high note as well. Cats up 49-28, 24.7 left to go. On the inbound, it's stolen by Celestine. Finds Thomas. Thomas drives in the paint. Layup, it's no good. Gets his own rebound. He escapes the paint. Goes out towards that CPAL logo. 12 seconds left in this first half. Thomas guarded by Sumoro. 6 seconds. Gets a screen by Rodriguez. Thomas, 3 seconds. He's got to do something. He lets it go from deep. No good. Thomas took way too much time there. He got his own rebound, pulled it out, but went from the long ball three-pointer. Could not connect for the Cats. Up 49-28 in this first half as we conclude and head to halftime. Bearcats shooting 53% from the floor compared to Western Carolina shooting 42%.
I mean, it's hard to say that Day Thomas three-pointer at the buzzer was a must-make, but going into halftime, 0 of their last 4, 1 of their last 7, no field goals in the last 2.5 minutes of the half. I mean, there's no worse way to go into halftime.
And the Bearcats hit one of those rocky patches in the road. Well, here's halftime in Cincinnati. Cats up 49-28 over the Catamounts of Western Carolina. Christian McGowan and Miles Essenprise bringing you action. Here coming up next with the halftime show, hosted by Chase Yance and joined by Justin Dietrich, it looks like. So we'll take a quick breather here in Cincinnati as we hit the halftime mark at Fifth Third Arena.
It is halftime here from Fifth Third Arena. The Cincinnati Bearcats up 49-28 over the Western Carolina Catamounts. Looking at some of the halftime stats, Cincinnati shooting 53% from the field, 31% from deep, 55% from the foul line, and Western Carolina shooting 42% from the field, 33% from three, and 33% from the line. We'll look at some other numbers here in a moment. I'm Chase Jones, joined alongside Alex Frank. You can find us on a podcast called Waiting All Day for Sunday Night Podcast, but we're here in the arena. What have you seen tonight, Alex, in the first 20 of this game?
Well, you saw the Cincinnati Bearcats play fast on both ends of the floor, which is something that you want to see. I think the fans are happy to see. You saw a team that forced 14 turnovers in that first half. That's really good. So you're forcing turnovers, you're getting down in transition, you're setting up your playmakers to make shots, and you're putting players in position to do what they do best. Game started, you get Kirk Carissa going from three-point range. He finished with 6 points in that first half on 2 threes. That's what he's coming here to do, to stabilize the three-point shooting, because we've always said, these Bearcats fans have felt like over the years, if you have a team that can shoot the three, you're going to be tough to beat because you know you're going to get a hard-fought effort on the defensive end especially, but also on the offensive end. Tonight the Bearcats, they got 18 rebounds in that first half, 6 of them offensive, 3 offensive rebounds from Day Thomas. So you talk about your engine, who's hustling after rebounds, creating second chance points. Look, he only had 2 points in the first half, but 3 assists, 3 offensive rebounds, no turnovers, plus minus 12. Despite your best scorer only scoring 2 points, you got to feel really good about that if you're Wes Miller and these Cincinnati Bearcats.
Yeah, Day Thomas being the leader, returning and scoring with 10.4 points per game, and really the only person that played some legit minutes last season. So again, it's him trying to figure out this entire team, the entire team trying to figure out the entire team. It's a whole new roster.
Yeah.
It's been interesting to see how this team's trying to mesh together. And, obviously you look and turn your attention to Sean Abayev, 9 points, leading the team in scoring, 4 for 6 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3. He's playing pretty good when it comes to the scoring department, just a little bit, a little out of sorts, I would say, when it comes to some other stuff in transition and everything else.
Well, it is your first game, but I think the one thing that you like from Sean Abayev is the fact that he plays with the fearlessness, and that's something that's going to go a long way. He's taken 6 shot attempts in that first half. Half of them are from three-point range, so he's not afraid to let it fly, which you like, and those shots are going to start to fall. Heck, he made 4 out of 6. So 2 turnovers. Look, it's your first game. There's some jitters there, but at the same time, this is the kind of performance, particularly through the first 20 minutes. He played 13 in that first half, where you really like what you're seeing from a player. And look, this team is not as experienced as it was last year. I think we've known that all along coming into the season. You mentioned the new roster, but I like the way so far. Again, it's only been 20 minutes, but so far they look like they're playing together. They're playing aggressively. They're playing with an assertiveness, and they're playing with a sense of urgency that we wanted to see so many times last season. So overall, again, what are you going to learn from tonight against Western Carolina? No disrespect to them by any means. You're going to want to see what you are, your team-wise, as you solidify what you want your lineup to look like, your rotations and whatnot. I know it's the first game of the season. Maybe that should already be figured out, but that stuff does take time, especially with that new roster, as you mentioned.
You're not going to win championships in November, but at the same time, you can build for some sort of success in a championship in November. That's why these games are important. Obviously, you look around at scores in college basketball, you'll see some that are 30-point games, 40-point games, even some 50-point games. But again, you go back and you look at what you're trying to get after, and it's a different measuring stick for a lot of teams, but you have to be able to meet those standards and even sometimes exceed those standards at some points to really make a push, to make a run. And with Cincinnati, Baba Miller 7 points, Jordy Rodriguez 7 points, four of those coming from the line. Sincere Harris brings a different type of attitude defensively, and Kirk Kriisa on the offensive end, where there comes to dishing things out, but he had 2 threes early on in this game, and you really like Kirk Kriisa, and over the Kentucky beat, know a thing or two about him.
Well, I told you the story, the play he got hurt on last year when he broke his foot. It was a game against Gonzaga in Seattle. He turned the ball over and he broke his foot on the play, but he still was able to chase the defender for Gonzaga, became the offensive player down the court, blocked the shot, kept the ball alive. Kentucky won that game by 1 point. So, yes, Kriisa was lost for the season, but that play embodied what he's been all about. And, Chase, you've seen him in Big 12 play. He was a member of the West Virginia Mountaineers, one of their veteran players on a team that had a lot of new pieces, that had an interim head coach in Josh Eilert, and he was just that steadying force. And that's what he's going to be for this year's team with a lot of new pieces. But when you have a guy like Day Thomas doing what he's doing, I think you have to really like what you're seeing. And the good thing, too, is this schedule that the Bearcats have this season through non-conference play, it's not a cupcake schedule. You're going to get Dayton. You're going to get Louisville. You're going to get Georgia. You're going to get Clemson, all those teams, and of course you're going to get Xavier. You have the opportunity to really show who you are and find out a lot about yourself as you go into Big 12 play, because we know the Big 12 is going to be ridiculously deep and good this season.
That's how the Big 12 always is. And again, with you mentioning with the Cincinnati early non-conference slate, they're going to get tested, and they're going to see how accurate they can be when it comes to the test results. And, with Kirk Kriisa, again, when he was at Arizona for 3 years, led the Pac-12 in assists back-to-back years, was one of 5 players in the conference that have multiple triple-doubles. So that's big there. On the flip side for Western Carolina, we talk about Court Stansbury, okay? He came over from Pepperdine, played 2 years there, was the only player to appear and start all 30 games for Western Carolina, had 19 times where he scored double figures, shot 91% from the free throw line. He's got 12 points so far, 5 for 7 from the field, 2 for 3 from 3, 0 for 2 from the line. I mean, he's been playing pretty good tonight, and he's given Western Carolina something good carrying over from last season.
No question about him. And you look at the numbers, 12 points on 5 of 7 shooting, 2 for 3. He's been their offense essentially in that first half. He has 12 of their 28 points. That's almost 50%. So what you're seeing is a guy that you can rely on. I mean, look, for Western Carolina, you knew coming into this game you were up against the challenge in Cincinnati, Big 12. You're playing in one of the most toughest places to play in all of college basketball when the Bearcats are rocking. So what I'm seeing is a guy that's not afraid to get after it, even when the stakes are this high and you're playing against a team that is projected, according to ESPN Bracketology, right now to be a top half or just below a top half seed in the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, I mean, when you live life on the bubble, it's susceptible to pop, and the Bearcats are trying to find their way with a roster that doesn't have as much experience as you like. Some of these other guys that are coming in the fold, again, guys like Jalen Celestine and Baba Miller and Mustafa Cham, they have some, relevant stuff under their belt. I'm excited to see, not necessarily tonight with how the game has gone, but the two bigs going forward, how they're able, to work, how Baba Miller can really fit in this offense and kind of play that stretch 4 role, that point forward.
Yeah.
And then Mustafa Cham can step out and try to shoot some threes, but at the same time, try to be a bully inside on the post and really be a menace at the rim, both offensively and defensively. Led the conference to the Big 12 in blocks and was 4th in the nation in blocks as well. So, you've got some trees over there that can really have that rotation, and you can, try some different things. You can go with the hot hand a little bit more. It's interesting to see how these guards and the bigs will be able to mesh as we get, later on in the season.
You mentioned, going back to Kirk Carissa real quick, it's not just what he did at Kentucky last year in the short time that he played until what ultimately happened with that broken foot. At Arizona, he was exceptional. I mean, you mentioned his abilities as a ball distributor. Not only that, but his abilities as a shooter, and that's what this team needs. This team needed so much more versatility. Felt like every player had almost a similar skill set, and that's a good thing when you're winning, but unfortunately there wasn't a lot of that last year. But this year, with the versatility and this team being able to do so many things and can attack you from so many different ways, that's what you want to see.
The second half of Game 1 for the Cincinnati Bearcats men's basketball in their 125th season coming up next. 49-28 Bearcats over the Catamounts. Second half coming up here. Miles and Chris be back on the commentary.
Before we do, Chase, let's look at some scores from around college basketball. If we got some time to do that, we can
do a quick run through on this one. Let's hear it.
Okay, number 13 Arizona leads number 3 Florida 50-46 at halftime.
Wow.
In Las Vegas, Hall of Fame series. That game over on TNT. Number 5 St. John's 74-48 over Quinnipiac about midway through the second half. Number 4 UConn up on New Haven 37-24 at halftime. Second half just about to get underway. Number 14 Arkansas 57-32 at halftime over Southern. Number 18 Tennessee 33-21 over Mercer at halftime. Tight one in East Lansing. Number 22 Michigan State 43-41 over Colgate. That game 15:35 to go in the second half. Number 25 North Carolina 51-23 over Central Arkansas at the half in Chapel Hill. Coming up tonight, you've got number 8 BYU hosting Villanova on TNT at 9:30 Eastern out in Las Vegas. Chase, the BYU Cougars, we know they're going to be very good this season potentially.
They're going to be fun, and it's a tough Big 12 to see, so I'm excited to see that game coming up late, but we'll be back here on Bearcat Sports Radio. Miles and Chris coming up here with the call. 49-28 Cincinnati, your score.
and welcome back to some Bearcat basketball. Joined to you by Bearcast Media. I'm Miles Essenprise, joined by Christian Pagan. A little bit of a rocky end to that first half for the Bearcats. Not much offensive output. A little bit of a struggle on both sides of the floor as Catamounts clawing their way back in a 21-point deficit. What do you think they need to do to complete the comeback? And for Cincinnati, what do they need to stop that?
Well, to be real, I don't think Western Carolina, in a perfect world, for them to complete this 21-point comeback, I think they have to play with pace, because we saw a lot with Cord Stansberry, Julian Samaro. They play so well with pace. I think when you get that Bearcat defense set, that's where the problems arise for Western Carolina. I mean, we saw a 30-second violation in that first half, a good defensive stand from Cincinnati. Good defense by McKinley as well, but it's really play with that pace. I think that's been their success in that first half. And for Cincinnati, it's just trusting themselves. You know, I alluded to this a lot in that first half. This is some of these guys' first time playing together in the real, actual game. Yeah, you have the exhibition. I mean, exhibitions only take you so far. Nothing's going to simulate a real game. Even practice won't do it. I think it's just play with your confidence, play like yourself, and just trust the guys along you, because they know they have talent. They just have to put it together, and it's only game number one. So I think just continue trusting yourself for Cincinnati and for Western Carolina. Just play with that tempo.
I mean, going into the game, the story was not if Western Carolina was going to win. It was how much is Cincinnati going to win by. So going into the second half, let's see if Western Carolina can stop themselves from getting embarrassed as the teams retake the court. It'll be Day Thomas who inbounds it to Creesa, excuse me.
I will say Vegas has Cincy as a 22-point favorite, so not to be gambling, but keep an eye on that.
Abayev down the baseline to number 52. Easy layup for Cham.
Right there, I like Abayev's vision. Just a quick, simple pass to Cham underneath.
Highland slowly brings it up the court, guarded by Creesa. Drives in the middle, pass to Dada. Puts in a layup, rolls around to the rim, not going. It'll be Abayev taking it up the court. Past the halfway line to Creesa. Now by the 5th-3rd logo. Top of the key, three! Won't fall as Day Thomas knocks it out of bounds. Sean Abayev upset with himself after he can't get that one to fall.
I mean, Abayev, we've seen him do it. I mean, he's 4-7 from the floor, but he's also 1 of 4 from deep. For Abayev, a lot of size. He's been playing, I give him a solid game so far in that first half for the freshman, but it's also some growing pains as well about learning about yourself and other things as well.
Highland, nothing there. Passes it to Stansberry. Stansberry back to Highland. Top of the key. Again, working by that 5th-3rd logo. Foul. Offensive foul from Cord Stansberry as Creesa takes the charge.
I mean, Creesa taking the charge is something that we should not be surprised at. His favorite player, he said, growing up was Steve Nash. You know, the player that, you know, can give you a solid 15 points per night, but then he can also dish in about 10 dimes and 10 boards as well. He's not afraid to take the charge. He's going to be a huge addition for this Bearcats with the absence of Jizzle James.
Sean Abayev now in the corner. Dishes it to 18 as he drives inside. Baseline slam for Baba Miller, the Spaniard.
Miller 6'11", but he sure doesn't move like it. He has a lot of speed for a guy at his size.
Carolina drives in baseline, denied at the rim by both Baba Miller and Mustafa Cham.
So Cham was actually 4th in the nation with 88 blocks last year. That's the 2nd most in UCF program history. He is such a tall frame and a key defensive paint protector and rim protector for Cincinnati.
Wes Miller screaming from the sideline. High inbound to Cord Stansberry. Works at the top of the key. 18-footer. Won't fall. Creesa now on the fast break. Past the halfway line at the top of the key. Kicks it out to Day Thomas, who takes a three. And it falls for Day Thomas. Now up the court. It'll be Kell. Guarded by Baba Miller. Looking for options. Lost his dribble. Highland now working at the top of the key. And it will be a foul on Creesa. Getting a little bit too physical on C.J. Highland.
Well, let me tell you about Day Thomas. He was, not to be disrespectful, but it kind of caught my eye how he shot 40% from the three-point line last year. It honestly did not seem like that, but he's one of those reliable three-point shooters for the Bearcats. You know, Cincy does not have good three-point shooting team. They're not a really good team from deep. But Thomas looks to bring that spark this year alongside guys like Miller and Jordi Rodriguez.
Kell now working back to the top of the key. Now it's Stansbury. Long three. Bounces off the back of the rim. Caught by Kell. Another three attempt. Can't fall. There is a lid on the rim for Stansbury from three. Now to Bayev by the 5th Third logo. Free throw line. Jumper. Won't fall. Brought up by the court by Sumaro. Past the halfway line. Dribbling to the court. Another three from Stansbury. And this one goes. 1 for 3 inside 30 seconds for Stansbury.
Well, 15 points. He leads all scorers. He can light it up from deep. For Abayev right there, just calm down a little bit, play like yourself, and on the defensive play, he got trapped.
Krisha looking for a break inside, stopped by CJ Highland. Now he's directing traffic to Day Thomas by the 5th Third logo. Screen from Cham, throws it to the corner, and Krisha was not ready for that long pass from Day Thomas, and it'll dribble out of bounds.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. Like you said, Krisha was not expecting that one. I don't know if he was looking the other way. Just was not expecting that one at all. I don't know if he was getting direction from Coach Miller because he was running from the Bearcat bench or what happened there, but he just was not expecting that one.
Island past the halfway line to Stansbury, to Sumaro, now to Kell. Now at the top of the key, that's Dada. Dribbles inside, nothing there. Big body Cham in the way. Hook shot won't go in. Now Krisha to Miller, dribbling inside, slam dunk from Baba Miller.
Okay now.
Miller is fired up as he takes 3 big steps from the free throw line and slams it down with authority, putting the Bearcats up 58-31 with 16 and a half to go in this second half.
Okay, Baba Miller. Okay, I see you. Like I said, you know, he moves so well for a guy that is 6'11", 225 pounds. He just makes it look easy. And, you know, him listed as a power forward, he can, I'd say a stretch power forward. You know, he can play outside the perimeter. He can play inside. Just what really stands out is his speed, and now he leads Cincinnati, you know, 11 points on the night.
With that Baba Miller slam, Western Carolina takes a timeout after his 11th point of the night, and so will we. We'll be right back with you with Bearcat Sports Radio. And welcome back to Bearcat Sports Radio. After the Baba Miller slam, it brings Cincinnati to 58-31 with 16 minutes, 29 seconds left in this second half. They have picked their momentum back up after they had lost their way in the latter part of the first half as Baby by Justin Miller plays in Fifth Third Stadium. I'm Miles Essenprise, joined to you by Christian Pagan. He draws the attention of the handheld camera operator on the floor.
That's KC Stevens right there. That's what's up.
It's a fun night in Fifth Third Stadium. Cincinnati up by a healthy margin, looking to put the deficit to even more. Right now it stands at 27 as Western Carolina stays in their huddle, as does Cincinnati. Looking at the starting lineup going in to the rest of this half, you've got Day Thomas, Sincere Harris now back on the court with Kerr Krisha, Baba Miller, of course, the enforcer, and Mustafa Cham. as we head out from the Western Carolinian timeout and back into play.
I think with Baba Miller, he's put up a quiet 11 points, I think, because he's 5 for 6. He's really efficient. He also has 5 boards on the night, too, and assists. I think he's plays that really efficient role. He's going to get the job done no matter what it takes. But 11 points from him in his Bearcat debut, he's looked like a bright spot going forward.
Now brought up the court by Highland. Full court pressure being applied from Sincere Harris. Highland finally gets past the halfway line. Now it's to Stansberry. Little 7-footer from outside the paint. Doesn't fall. Now to Krisha beyond the arc, and he is fouled by CJ Highland on the fast break.
Well, let me tell you something. The lineup the Bearcats have on the court right now, I think might be their best defensive lineup they can put out this season with Krisha, Harris, Miller, Cham, and Day Thomas. I mean, those are all great defensive players, especially Harris. Like you mentioned earlier, all Big 12 defensive team a year ago. I mean, they're just so balanced with this lineup, and it's honestly really intriguing to see. I like it.
Inbound to Day Thomas. Little floater from 10 feet, won't fall. Picked up by Stansberry. Now on the fast break, West Carolina passes the halfway line. Drives inside, corner. Now Kell drives to the paint, loses it off of Miller, and it will be Cincinnati ball.
What I really liked there was Baba Miller on the driving Marcus Kell. Miller had really good closing out speed and distance, which forced Kell to dribble it off his leg and go out of play. That's that length of Baba Miller we were talking about, 6'11", 225, such a big frame. It's going to be very difficult to go past someone like that. You know, especially if you have a lot of speed, well, Miller's just going to have to stick his arms out. He's got a long wingspan. He can cover so much ground so quickly.
Media timeout now brings on the Cincinnati dance team. And again, Baba Miller, he is small, efficient, flashy. He can pull out the big moves when it counts, but he's also an efficient player. Quiet 11 points, as you said. 5 for 6 from the field. He's flashy. He can give you everything you need, but he's also just quiet, fills roles. He's been looking really good for his Cincinnati debut.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm really excited to see him go on this season. I mean, we talked about it a lot with all the talent Cincy has brought in, and, you know, they only returned 3 players. But that's what makes it exciting, honestly, in this era of NIL, because the odds of you retaining a good chunk of your roster, it's very slim. I mean, even the best teams like your Florida and your Auburn, you know, they're going out in the portal, they're getting people, they're bringing in new freshmen. What's exciting is that you get to see a bunch of new faces. You know, you get to see guys like Ashana Abaya, Keyshawn Tillery, Baba Miller, Mustafa Cham. I mean, there's so much to look forward to. And like I said, I think this team is exciting. You know, it's a mix of they have a ton of experience, but they're also really young as well. And it can provide that good balance between the two. And I think going forward, it's going to be a very exciting team to watch. And it's going to be very, very good to see them grow as a team and as players individually as well.
Baba Miller again was with FAU last year, had career-high stats in most categories, including threes made, threes attempted, offensive and defensive rebounds, points per game, et cetera, et cetera. 6 double-doubles last year, 4 rebounds away from a double-double tonight. 11 points, 6 rebounds. In just 14 minutes, he has been efficient, he has been clinical, he has been critical for the Cincinnati defense and offense.
Oh, yeah, I think the interesting about Cincinnati last year was that they could run about a 9, 10 to 11 man rotation, which really isn't seen much in basketball nowadays. You stick with your usual 8, 9 guys. But Cincinnati, once again this year, I talked about in the first half, 9 different scorers. This is a team that could be 10, 11 deep once again. You know, it just depends on the trust of Coach Miller, the situation of the game. But this can be a deep Bearcat team. Like I mentioned, a lot of young guys, but also a ton of experience on both ends.
That Wes Miller effect certainly shining with the amount of subs being made. Ball will go to Sincere Harris, and we are back underway. Just under 16 minutes left to go as Day Thomas just now crosses halfway point by the 5th-3rd logo, drives to the corner. Inside now to Baba Harris. Who else? Drives inside in the paint. Finishes, and he is fouled just before he can get to the hoop. Puts up a shot, can't get the and one to fall. but he is fouled, and he will go to the charity stripe. 15 minutes, 45 seconds remain.
Well, quickly, Day Thomas just finds Miller in the right spot, the right block. You know, he's a big guy. Get him the ball down low early on. It's a one-on-one coverage. Let him go to work, and he draws a foul.
Baba Miller looking to put another free throw on the Cincinnati board, and it will not fall. 10 for 19 now. Falls to below 55% on the night from the charity stripe. Baba Miller again dribbles the ball, spins it on his hand, lets it fly, and splashes it, making it 59-31. Makes one of two, 11 for 20 now on the night for the Bearcats from the charity stripe. CJ Highland takes it past the Paw C-Paw, excuse me. And that is almost poked away now to Chase McKee. McKee still working from beyond the three-point arc. Stansberry now works inside in the paint. Can't find anything. Highland now beyond the arc to Kell. Now it's to Johnson. Johnson, nothing going. 1 second left, has to put up an ugly shot. And that is an extraordinary defensive effort from the Bearcats.
I told you, this is the best defensive lineup I think they can roll out with. The second time they force a 30-second violation, now one in each half. What did I say at halftime? You have to play with pace if you're Western Carolina, because you cannot let this Bearcats defense get settled, or else that is going to happen. You're going to take poor shots, and it's just going to be bad for you.
Krisha puts the ball into Miller, but it is a foul on Miller as he pushes Kell to the ground.
They're actually going to say that's on Kell.
They're going to say that's on Kell.
It's really surprising, honestly. He did extend that arm out. I'm surprised to see that be a defensive foul. I for sure thought that was going to go against Kell.
Stansberry trots off in place of Tijian Jumasi, and it will be inbounded by Krisha. Long inbound to Chum, who now works from the C-Paw. Now to Day Thomas, working on the top of the key. Drives inside, paint, denied by Johnson. Now it's the fast break to Highland. And he'll take a three, and that'll fall for, excuse me, that's Petway. Now to Krisha, to Baba Miller. Now to Chum inside the paint, and that'll be stolen away. Fast break again for the Catamounts. Passes the timeline. Now to the top of the key. Kicks it out to Petway. Petway looks to find space, can't find, defended by Sincere. Now to McKee. Working by the 5th third logo, that's Kell. Kell guarded by two, Krisha one of them. Now they reset again. And that'll be a jump ball for Krisha and number 22, Jumasi. And a little bit of contact there from Jumasi on Krisha.
I mean, both are just physical ball players. With 1.4 left on the shot clock, this has to be a catch-and-shoot situation for Western Carolina as they inbound the ball. For the Bearcats, just keep, well, they have 6 on the court right now. Okay, that's Chom comes off. But really just, if someone gets the ball, immediately contest it, because it has to be a catch-and-shoot.
And the catch-and-shoot will go to Johnson. He puts up a shot, and that falls directly to Sincere Harris. And a stoppage in time. Great Cincinnati defensive effort again, forcing another bad shot. That's been the story of the Cincinnati defense all night, forcing poor shots from the Catamounts, as it'll go to Tillery, guarded by Petway. Just crosses the timeline, working by the 5th third logo. Off to Sincere Harris. Works it back at the top of the key. Celestine puts it to Harris in the corner. He drives inside, looking for space, nothing there. Now he drives again. Free throw line, loses his dribble, passes it to Day Thomas. 4 seconds left on the shot clock. Have to get a shot off. Loses it again. It's picked up by Jumasi. And now it's another jump ball between Day Thomas and Jumasi, who was sitting on the floor.
Well, I talk about those waves. The Bearcats have had another rough patch of waves right there. Just really the key thing, I think, today for Cincinnati has been the inconsistent play. They look really good at times and then really poor at others. But they do win the jump ball. It goes in their favor this time, I believe. If that is the case. But for Cincy, let's just get to your spots, calm down, take a deep breath, and just trust in the playbook.
Tillery now working by the 5th third logo, passes the ball inside. Sincere Harris catches, and it is a brilliant working ball rotation in the paint, as that'll go to 4 Bearcat players inside the paint before it's put in the hoop. Now Catamounts working by the 5th third logo, past the byline. Now it's Jamasi working with 2 on him. And Sincere Harris intercepts the pass to Petway. He'll go in, and he is fouled by Justin Johnson on the slam attempt.
Look at this, ready? 20 turnovers on the day for Western Carolina. They have 5 in the last 4 minutes and 18 seconds. Oh my goodness. I think for Western Carolina, that is the main thing, is those turnovers. Whenever you have 20 in a game, I mean, there's honestly nothing you can do, I think.
I mean, the Bearcats are getting out-rebounded, but the Catamounts have doubled the Bearcats in turnovers, 10 to 20. I mean, with this amount of turnovers, it's almost absurd.
I think absurd might be an understatement. Sincere Harris took a hard fall. He's really holding on to that left hand.
He's definitely shaken up as he goes to the charity stripe. And it will not fall. His hand is bothering him, definitely affecting that free throw shot as Wes Miller looks to sub him out, perhaps.
That was not a good free throw look. He's in some pain right now.
He's shaking his head. He does not want to come out, but I believe Wes Miller is making the choice to sub him off for Abayev. He is clearly in pain. It looks to be his left wrist or left hand.
This is interesting because he was supposed to take the free throw. They make the sub here. I don't think they can choose a player. I think it has to be the person who subs on, I believe.
Abayev not looking to be taking the free throw, though.
This is interesting because I was looking because I thought they wouldn't be able to sub him off until the free throw is done as he heads back to the locker room. It's going to be Tillery to take it.
Tillery spins the ball in his hand, puts it up, and it will fall for the Bearcats' 62nd point of the night. Catamounts keeping this deficit to under 30 still as Petway crosses the timeline, guarded by Tillery. Working past him, drives inside, gets inside the paint, guarded by 2 big men as it is poked away by McKinley. Now a fast break. And Jordy Rodriguez puts up a 3, can't quite fall, as that is picked up by Petway again. Now a Catamount fast break to Stansberry. Working by the 5th third logo, now to the top of the key to Petway again. Now it's to Johnson. Chance of air ball for Justin Johnson as that is poked away by Jordy Rodriguez down by the baseline. It'll be a throw-in for the Catamounts.
Let me tell you, when those students section, the Ruckus start shooting the air ball at you, it lasts the entire game whenever you touch the ball. So for Justin Johnson, just be prepared.
Stansberry inbounds the ball to Johnson. Now it's Stansberry again for 3. Step back fadeaway from Stansberry, gets it to fall. Now it's Tillery bringing it up the court. Passes the C-paw in the center of the court. Now works inside, drives in the lane, and he will be fouled just before he steps inside. And that'll be more free throws for Keyshawn Tillery.
I mean, looking at Stansberry, 18 points on the day, 7 of 13 from the floor, 4 of 7 from deep. He's been the bright spot for Western Carolina on the offensive end.
Excuse me, no free throws for Tillery. It'll be Jordy Rodriguez to inbound it to Abayev. Abayev now working in the corner. Dumps it off to Celestine. Celestine working in. Tillery from 3, deep 3. Can't quite get it to fall. Rebound from Stansberry. He leads the Catamount fast break. Top of the key, drives inside. Nothing there. Looks, pump fakes from the top of the key, now to Petway. Petway working it to Chase McKee. Still at the top of the key, can't get inside the paint. Now, back to Johnson, and air ball chance echoes through Fifth Third Stadium. He drives inside, nothing there, but he is fouled on the shot attempt, and it will be free throws for Justin Johnson, the air ball offender, according to the Cincinnati crowd.
It's interesting because in that possession, they had McKinley guarding Stansberry, and it's honestly a mismatch if you look at it like that, because Stansberry, the shifty guard, McKinley, more of a forward coming off that knee injury. He has a brace on his left knee, so obviously that's going to be affecting him just a little bit, you would think. But for that possession, I don't like that, having McKinley on Stansbury. I think that's something, it was probably well designed to get that mismatch. You had a guy like Jordy Rodriguez out there. I think you got to get one of those quicker guards to get off on Stansbury, or else he's going to get some open looks, and he's going to cook like he has been all night.
Wes Miller, perhaps a strategic defensive error, but as this timeout takes place, so will we. Coming to you from Bearcast Sports Radio, I'm Miles Essenprise, joined by Christian Pagan, and we'll be right back. And welcome back to Fifth Third Arena as the band plays us in. Bearcats up 62-37 with 11 minutes and 46 seconds remaining in this second half. It has been all Bearcats all game, except for some rocky patches where they have looked like the lesser team compared to Western Carolina, struggling to make shots fall, looking a little bit sloppy on the defensive end, but of course the turnover margin is still extreme. 21 turnovers for the Western Carolina Catamounts.
You remember that stat I told you about, the 355 NCAA schools? Well, you mentioned turnover margin. Hear me out. Western Carolina had a turnover margin of -4 last year. That ranked 349th among 355 men's D1 programs.
Definitely not advantageous to winning basketball games.
Oh, never.
Western Carolina 8-22 last year, struggling to keep the ball in their own hands, and it'll be Justin Johnson taking the free throws as the chorus of air ball echoes through Fifth Third Stadium again. That'll follow him for the rest of the night, but the first one falls.
I mean, at this rate, it might follow him back all the way to Cullowhee, North Carolina. I don't know.
62-38, Bearcats up. Spins the ball, second free throw, and it will bounce off the front of the rim. Picked up by McKinley.
Yeah,
now
numbers.
fast break to Tillery. Abayev driving inside, fouled by Justin Johnson.
Here's a unique thing on that second free throw. When it bounced off the rim, it took a weird deflection. I think off of someone's foot. They didn't call it a kickball, but the ball kind of just stood there. McKinley grabbed it off the ground. A Western Carolina player dove, and immediately the Bearcats had numbers. So smart by Abayev to push, drew the foul, and go to the line to shoot 2 free throws. Or, excuse me, it's a 1-and-1 now. Or that's a shooting foul, yeah, so 2 free throws, sorry.
Definitely an interesting play there, leads to Abayev free throws. Looking to put their 23rd in, and he does. Now they are 13-23 from the charity line.
Definitely something that they have to improve upon going forward. Trust me, if the Bearcats can't shoot free throws this year, it's going to haunt them again throughout the entire conference slate.
Abayev makes the second one as that puts the Bearcats up 64-38. Tillery now pressing Petway beyond the C-Paw, just now passing the timeline. Working by the Fifth Third logo, covered by 2. Now to Stansbury. Dada hits the deck, guarded by Abayev. Nothing there. Looking to work it to Petway. He's looking for paint. He can't find anything. He's double covered, but he still makes the shot fall. little 10-foot floater falls for Petway. And Abayev for three! Can't quite get it to fall, as that is a rebound from Dada. Petway working up the floor again. Looking to the corner. Now to Kell for three. And his three-pointer falls. Tillery now on the fast break, works it past the timeline by the 5th-3rd logo. Now to McKinley. McKinley to Abayev. He kicks it to Celestine. His three-pointer will almost get stuck in the hoop. Nothing quite there. Petway now to Stansberry. He pump fakes, covered by Abayev. And Abayev is everywhere, but he makes the shot for an and one. Stansberry climbs the tower that is Sean Abayev and makes it for an extra shot. Potential three-point play for Stansberry.
Well, let me tell you this. It's a 7-0 run over the last 44 seconds for Western Carolina. You're going to get an entire personnel switch literally for Cincinnati. 4 subs coming on. How about a 20-piece nugget for Cord Stansberry?
Cord Stansberry has been the offensive hope for Western Carolina tonight, as his three-point play will become true as Dede Thomas receives the ball from Cham. Now covered by Petway, just past the timeline, working it to the corner. Looking at the hoop, passes it to Rodriguez. Rodriguez drives inside, nothing there. Passes it to Krisha, beyond the arc, drives in the paint. Now two in the corner.
Ooh.
Air ball from Baba Miller, but picked up by Jordy Rodriguez. And now Jordy Rodriguez's shot will hit the State Farm logo on the backboard. Ugly, ugly offensive effort from the Cincinnati Bearcats, as their shot clock will expire. And now it is the Catamounts' turn to slow the pace of play as they just passed the halfway line. Now working by the corner, guarded by Rodriguez to Stansberry. Stansberry makes Dede Thomas fall for the pump fake, and it is back to him from the free throw line. Can't quite get it to fall. Baba Miller to Rodriguez. Almost fell out of bounds, now to Krisha. Krisha puts it into Cham as he is fouled by number 7, Fanta Kaba.
Well, before you know it, it's now an 18-point game in the second half. Western Carolina still giving a fight. You talk about the rough patches Cincinnati has hit.
Again, the Cats clawing and clawing and clawing. They refuse to be denied, but it is Cham who will take free throws. His 7-2 frame. Shoots the first. Makes the first.
Let me tell you, whenever you can get your center to hit free throws, it's a huge plus. Because with 7-2, they're not easy to shoot at all. And so if your center can convert some, then that's a huge plus, especially to go 2 for 2 like that.
He makes the second one fall as Petway calls for the increase in speed of play. Guarded by Krisha. Stansberry kicks it to Kell. Now working the top of the key, that's Dada. Stansberry hits the deck. Now to Kell again, top of the key. He takes a step back jumper. Hits the back of the hoop, picked up by Cham. Cham will now take it up the court to Dede Thomas as they pass the timeline. Krisha now working inside, kicks it back out to Cham, who takes the three, and it falls! The 7-2 center hits a three-pointer.
That's the first bucket for the Bearcats from the floor in 4.5 minutes.
That's the momentum shifter they needed. Number 3 kicks it out to Petway again, top of the key, drives into the free throw line, jumper, can't fall. Cham picks it up again. Now to Krisha. Krisha urging the offensive effort forward. Dede Thomas, baseline, step back jumper, won't fall. Now to Kell on the rebound, to Petway. Now to Sumaro, tries to work past Rodriguez, draws the foul. He'll drive in for a layup after the whistle, denied by Cham.
Well, here, let me tell you about Cham. He's put up a quiet 12 points as well tonight. 4 of 5 from the floor, 3 from the charity stripe, including a three-pointer. He's someone, for a center of his size, he shot 29% from the three-point arc. I'm not sure if you want your center shooting threes, but
if they fall, they fall.
yeah, I don't know what to say. If If your center shoots 29%, if it's a good or a bad thing, I'll go both, because your center is shooting 29%, which is better than 0, or that your center is shooting a lot of threes and means he's probably out of position, but hey, who knows?
Well, he's been subbed off, so make that what you will, as Sumaro now working with it. Covered by 2. Key. Three-pointer won't fall off the back of the hoop. He gets a second try. He shifts left a couple feet, and that three-pointer will fall. Now Dede Thomas passes the timeline, kicks it out to Krisha, looks for a shot. Now to Baba Miller, pump fake, drives inside. Floater from 8 feet, drops.
Nice move by Miller to get to his spot, goes with a floater and converts.
Sumaro now working on Celestine, covered everywhere, and that will be a travel on Sumaro. Excellent work from Celestine, draws the foul, as another timeout will be taken for the Western Carolina Catamounts.
22 turnovers for Western Carolina. I'm still in awe at that stat, honestly. Bearcats have 11, which is kind of in their range from last year. They averaged 10, which is 3rd best in the Big 12, believe it or not. But 22 for Western Carolina, oh my goodness.
I mean, they averaged 7.6 steals a game last year, and tonight they have 11. Including 21 defensive rebounds and 7 offensive rebounds, hovering around their totals from last year. We look at the stat sheet. Definitely been all Cincinnati as the timeout continues. It'll be 71 Cincinnati over 49 Western Carolina Catamounts as 7 minutes and 53 seconds remain in this second half. We'll take a timeout as well, and we'll be right back with Bearcat Sports Radio. We welcome you back to Fifth Third Stadium as the media timeout ticks away. 71-49, Bearcat lead. The Catamounts have been clawing their way back into this game. Still a hefty deficit to surpass in 8 minutes, but they definitely are stopping themselves from at least being embarrassed here in Cincinnati, the Queen City.
Yeah, I mean, when you play these non-conference games, if you're any team that goes up to a mid or major level D1 program, you know what to expect. You know you're most likely not going to win this game. You know, you're just wanting to give your team some experience, get some money for your school. They know what to expect. They know how this game works, but at the same time, it doesn't mean you just quit. You know, you're going to travel, you know, hundreds if not thousands of miles. You know, you're gonna give it your all. You know, this is a spotlight that many of these players will not get on. I mean, you're playing in Cincinnati, a Power 4 school. It's not national television, but I can guarantee you this stream has a lot of viewers with ESPN Plus. So this is the time to, you know, make best of that moment and shine.
Baba Miller backs him down. The floater will fall for Baba Miller. His 16th point of the night as Petway takes it past the halfway line. Still working at the top of the key, guarded by Krisha. Spin move past Krisha, drives inside, nothing there to Sumaro. Back to Kell, now working from beyond the arc. Looks to drive inside, nothing there. Backs down Baba Miller, guarded, nothing there. Back to Kell, falls to him. Still guarded by Miller, works inside, fade away. And that will fall. Look like shades of Dirk Nowitzki from Marcus Kell there as Krisha takes it past the timeline. Sham now. Posts up against Dada, and that is just too easy as he hits the too small from Sham. Now Stansberry works it up the court to Kell, now to Sumaro. Sumaro working from beyond the arc to Stansberry. He's hot, he takes a three, bounces off the rim, picked up by Baba Miller. Now to Krisha past the halfway line, long pass to Sham, and Sham will pick it up, but he pushed down Dada. The crowd doesn't agree with the ref call, but there was a clear extension of the arms from Sham, and Dada goes down, and those points will not count for this Bearcat offense. 75-51, Bearcats with 6.5 minutes remaining in this second half.
It's a beautiful feed inside on the streaking Sham. He says, my bad right there to Coach Wes Miller. It's a beautiful pass, but unfortunately you get the offensive foul.
Highland works it to Johnson now. Sumaro to Kell. Now at top of the key, Dada works inside to Sumaro, and Day Thomas almost got the chase down block, but that layup will fall, and that is intercepted by Dada. Back to Highland, guarded by Celestine, and he draws the foul. The and one won't quite fall, but CJ Highland draws the foul from Celestine, and he will go to the line for two.
I think it's been a couple of times in this game. I know in that first half, Western Carolina went on 8-0 run in the first 50 seconds or in 50 seconds. In this second half, 7-0 run in 45 seconds. You see what they did just there. They forced a turnover or two, good play on defense. They really look good when they play with that tempo.
Western Carolina, good with pace, as you just said, 75-53, Bearcat lead. Highland sinks the first one with the loud Cincinnati crowd. Sean Abayev will come on now for Celestine, who was the offending party. Wes Miller not happy with him, apparently.
With Highland, he's someone who's had a very successful prep high school career playing at Grayson High in Georgia, a high school that pumps out a ton of D1 talent. They are truly, truly a powerhouse.
After a deep breath, he sinks his second. Now it's Krisha, works it to Miller. Past the timeline now, back to Krisha, working at the top of the key. Drives by the 5th-3rd logo, he works it to Abayev. Now to Day Thomas, now by the C-Paw. To Krisha again, now to inside to Sham. He sizes up Dada, works inside, fadeaway, one-legged, and it will fall again. The fadeaway, one-legged jumper from Sham will fall as Highland takes it past the byline. Now to Krisha. Now to Kell. Now back to Kell. Guarded by Miller, through the paint to Highland. Highland works it inside, and the floater will just float past Sham as a bullet to Sham is met by a foul. The impressive Krisha pass can't quite find Sham in time, but he draws the foul.
Well, let me tell you, Western Carolina, it's a beautifully designed play because they have Kell going from the right block, or the right elbow to the left, and then it's a dribble handoff to Highland, who just streaks across and cuts in almost like a football route. Has an easy lay, or not so easy lay rather, just floats it up and gets it in. But then on the other end, it's another pass to the streaking Sham, and Justin Johnson tried to intercept it. What's dangerous is that you often commit contact on those type of fouls.
Sham takes his first, and it will fall. That will be the 27th and 17th made free throw for the Bearcats tonight. They have certainly been clinical drawing these fouls as he dribbles and readies to take his second one. And it will fall. They have been much more clinical with these free throws in this second half. Highland dribbles past the 5th-3rd logo, now past the byline. Now to Johnson, to Mustafa. Now to Kell. Kell working at the top of the key on Miller. Back to Sumaro. Sumaro guarded by 2. Sham works it back inside. Now to Highland, dribbles around Kira, and he is absolutely denied with the help of Baba Miller. Passes it to Krisha. Oh, behind the back pass to Miller. Now it's back to Sham, who's working inside on a mismatch. Works it past Kell, but he shoots it off the bottom of the backboard. Now to Highland on the fast break to Sumaro. Works it inside on Krisha. Krisha takes the heavy charge, but it will be a defensive foul on Krisha as Sumaro powers through him.
Well, the question is, was Krisha set? That is the question. I think in real time, he was moving just a little bit. But once again, we talked about it, Krisha, he's someone who's not afraid to take that charge at any given moment. It doesn't matter who's going against him. He will put his body on the line. And on that recent possession for Cham, he just lost his spatial awareness where he was, tried to go with the easy layup, like you said, off the bottom of the hoop. It happens sometimes with a big man like that.
And his free throw will be no good. Picked back up by Sumaro, gets his rebound to Highland. His three-pointer will bounce off the hoop, but it is again picked up by Johnson. Works it inside to the byline, and that is denied by Zella. Works it back to Kell. Another steal to Sumaro. It's chaos on the court, and the three-pointer won't fall for the Catamounts, and that is a foul on Miller from Kell.
So much has happened there.
Dada on the ground after he tripped over, I believe it was Johnson who was working for that rebound. Absolute mayhem in Fifth Third Stadium.
So much to unpack there. I won't even try and analyze that or whatever happened there. But I mean, Highland had a couple of chances. I mean, there's so much that happened right there. I honestly don't know what to say.
It's really where radio fails you.
It does, because I had a thought and I just lost it because so many things just happened right in front of me. And I guarantee you, it'll come back to my mind when it's not relevant to the fact at all.
Miller will take free throws now. 79-57, makes it 80-57. Bearcats now 19 for 29 from the charity stripe, as Zella will come off in place of, I believe that's McKinley. His second free throw falls, as that'll be 81-57. Now to Highland, trailed by Kell, works it past the halfway line. Now works it to the left wing, drives inside, met by Day Thomas with an excellent block. Oh, no look pass by Krisha ruins it as that will go into the tunnel of the locker rooms. What a play from Day Thomas. Climbs the ladder to deny that shot from CJ Highland.
Let me tell you, Day Thomas, 6'1", 190. He's here in Cincy for his third year. Someone who's a JUCO guy, actually. The thing is, I've seen him throw down the hammer so viciously when he comes to dunking. I'm not even surprised that he got up and made that block there. It doesn't surprise me one bit. With Kurt Krisha, do you remember when I said in the first half his favorite player is Steve Nash? He tried to be Steve Nash right there with the no-look pass. I get it. You're up by 24. You know, your team is making a spectacular defensive play. I get that. Just he put a little too much on it. I believe that was Cham or Baba Miller streaking down the court. But it was just, I mean, just the way Kerr plays. I mean, he really reminds me of Steve Nash. You can see it in his play style. I mean, even he just wears a jersey and pants. You know, there's no compression, no arm sleeve. He really just reminds me of Steve Nash, honestly.
Miller attempted to connect on that three-quarters court no-look pass. Flashy play from Krisha. Doesn't quite result, as we are still waiting on an injury call from Sincere Harris. He may be seriously hurt. Hoping for the best for the 6'4", 180-pound guard. Out, transfer from WVU out of Canton, Ohio.
Yeah, we did see the head athletic trainer out talking to Coach Miller. Unless I haven't really, I haven't seen him out in the huddle much, usually talking to Miller directly like that. So looking on Twitter, it says Harris came out to the bench, then went back to the tunnel. So he came out for a little bit, then went back into the tunnel. And I'm sure the answers will be answered in the post-game press conference of Coach Miller. But, yeah, it's not – those hand injuries can be really bad because there's obviously quite a few bones, but there's also a bunch of ligaments in your hand as well, especially in that wrist area. And in basketball, it's, you need your hand. You got to shoot the ball somehow. With football, it's different. You can make tackles with your hand, especially if you're not throwing the ball, stuff like that. But basketball, as simple as it sounds, you're going to need your hand for it. It's not like soccer. You can play without a hand if you wanted to. But, yeah, those hand injuries are no joke, man. They're no joke.
Sincere Harris playing a game on the Jumbotron. We can only hope for the best for him as the media timeout ends and we resume play. Bearcats up 81-57, 3:56 remaining in the second half. Bearcats seem ready to play, but the Western Carolina Catamounts still in their huddle. At this point, it's pretty much over, but Catamounts still looking to claw their way back into this one. Bearcats with a comfortable lead. Top performers, Sean Abrayev with 11. Baba Miller with again, quiet 18 points. He's been a very effective player for this Cincinnati offense, as that is inbounded by Kell.
Same with Sean. He has 18 to 9. Doesn't really seem like it, too.
Full court press being applied by the Cincinnati defense, as that'll be worked to Sumaro. Sumaro passes the halfway line, now to Highland at the top of the key. Covered by Tillery. Screen applied by McKee. Corner three from Kell, blocked again by Day Thomas, back to back. Now to Johnson in the corner. The two-pointer will fall for Justin Johnson. Air ball chance quieter that time. Now Day Thomas works it to McKinley. McKinley to Sean Abayev. And that will fall. The two-pointer from just beyond the free throw line. Highland now to McKee. Works it inside the paint. Posts up on McKinley. Nothing there. Works it around. And that is picked off. But that is picked up again by Sumaro on the steal. Almost from Day Thomas. Now back inside the key to McKee. Now to Sumaro. He drives inside the paint. Step back jumper. Won't fall. Rebound by McKinley. Tillery now works it up the court to Day Thomas. Three will fall for Day Thomas. His 8th point of the night, shooting 3 from 11 from the field. Not a great game for him, but that is a big 3 as he claws his way back. 2 for 5 now from beyond the three-point arc.
How about Cincy making their last 6 shots from the floor? I like that Abayev shot, got to his spot, a contested shot as well, but he looks so calm, even with the guy in his face. Just let it go, and he splashed. And how about Day Thomas? Like I mentioned earlier in that first half, not to be rude, but surprisingly, it didn't seem like he shot 40% from three-point arc last year. And he's going to be one of those guys that Wes Miller's going to rely upon, being a grad student, getting extra eligibility with NCAA rulings and JUCO years. I mean, he's someone that can be a spark for the three-point offense, because Cincy, as I mentioned, they're not a really good three-point shooting team. That's why you add those guys like your Lucas Atari, who've yet to see yet. Your Jordy Rodriguez, your Baba Miller, these guys are looking to change some things on how this offense runs, and maybe gives them an extra boost, especially from deep.
Definitely a leader on the court for the Bearcats, as the inbound will come from Kell to Highland, and we resume play. 2 minutes, 40 seconds left in the second half. 86-59 Bearcats. Directing traffic, Highland now to Stansbury, who's back on the court, to Sumaro, to Kell now, working on the left wing. Tries to find the streaking Sumaro, can't. Now working from beyond the three-point arc, drives inside. Nothing there as he's guarded by Zella, but he will draw the foul. Just ran into Zella looking for an and one call. Can't quite get the shot to fall, but it will be free throws for Kell.
I like this lineup Cincinnati has with Tillery, Rodriguez, Abayev, McKinley, and Zella. There's just so much size there on the court as Kell makes the first one. There's so much size. I think they probably have, let's say, about 4 guys above the height of 6'6". Not many teams can do that with the lineup, but it's a balance of good defensive team, good defensive lineup, and also on the offensive end as well.
The second will bounce in for Marcus Kell as Zella looks to inbound. He gets it to Tillery, working by the 5th-3rd logo on this as he just passes the halfway line. Screen set by Zella. Works inside for Tillery. Free throw jumper won't fall. Picked up by Kell. Now to Highland. Highland works it to Sumaro beyond the three-point arc on the right wing corner. Rodriguez falls for the pump fake. Can't quite bring anything. Kell now to Stansbury, excuse me. Guarded by Tillery, works it inside of the free throw line. Fadeaway jumper, won't fall, picked up by Zella. Now to Tillery, works it past the halfway line to Sean Abayev in the corner on the right wing. Slows it down, step back three, falls for Sean Abayev. Again, we saw that in warm-ups, and Western Carolina going fast now. Sumaro works it to the corner on the right wing. Sumaro by the 5th third logo, passes it to Highland, now to Kell, working on the left wing now. Drives inside of the paint, well defended by McKinley, picked up by Dada. He tries the reverse layup, denied by Zella. Zella passes it to Tillery, 1:15 left on the clock. 89-61 Bearcats, as Tillery slows down the pace of play, looking to take as much time as possible. And he is tripped up by Stansbury. Now to Rodriguez in the corner, to Tillery back at the top of the key. Corner, Rodriguez, three! Splash for Jordy Rodriguez. Brings the total to 92 for the Bearcats, 92-61. Bearcat lead. Petway now beyond the halfway line to Kell. Stansbury, three! Won't go. Picked up by McKinley, now to Abayev, and this game is all but over. 36 seconds remain on the clock as they dribble, and Tillery met at the halfway line by Petway. They are not done fighting. Screened by McKinley, Tillery works inside, kicks it out to Abayev, now at the top of the key, works it inside to the paint, and that is a soft layup. Sean Abayev worked inside the paint with bad intentions, but nothing came of it except a layup. And that is a shifty layup as Stansbury works his way inside. And that will just about do it. 10 seconds, remain on the clock. 94-63 will be your final score as Abayev dribbles the clock out. And the buzzer sounds as a comfortable Cincinnati victory takes place over the Western Carolina Catamounts.
What a good job by the Bearcats. They definitely turned it up to close out this second half. What stands out to me, you're going to have 4 players in double-digit scoring, 3 of them with 18 points, including Abayev making his Bearcat debut alongside Baba Miller, Mustafa Cham. Cham had 13 points in the second half. I mean, just a good job by the Bearcats. They looked really, really well. Baba Miller, a double-double. That's something he did so well at Florida State and Florida Atlantic. You know, he's known for the double-double. You know, he averaged 11 points, 10 rebounds last year. Get used to that if you're a Cincinnati fan. Honestly, I think in a performance that doesn't go in the stat sheet that I think was someone who played really, really well in their debut, Todd McKinley. I mean, 2 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, yeah. He had 3 steals and 2 blocks. This kid on defense looked exceptional. Honestly, looked like one of the best Bearcat defenders on the team. He played so well on the defensive end, and overall, it was just a good team effort by the Bearcats tonight to win their season opener. And now for Western Carolina, well, they got Duke on Saturday, so.
It's a long road ahead for them. 4 players for the Bearcats tonight have double-digit points, and of course, Baba Miller with the double-double. And the leading scorer for Western Carolina was Cord Stansbury. He had 23 on the night with 3 rebounds. Can't quite record the double-double. But Sumaro again with 13 and Kell with 12. That will just about do us for us here at Fifth Third Stadium. Final score 94-63. I'm Miles Essenprise with Christian Pagan for Bearcat Sports Radio. Once again, final score 94-63, Bearcat victory. And we'll see you next time.